Good evening, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Friday. Welcome to the Shenmue Dojo Christmas Party Special. As ever,
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I'm Matt. How's it going, everyone? And I have my esteemed, very Christmassy looking colleague, James, with me today.
How's it going, dude? You right?
Yeah, I've had your shit week. My booster was ill, and I've just sort of recovered from it just in time for tonight. So,
Very good, very good.
but it's better than
I'm glad you're feeling a bit better.
it's better than the alternative, right? So,
That's true, yeah.
so there we go.
Although, well, I won't talk about Omnicron and stuff at the start of the stream. Crack on, mate. Carry on.
But yeah, so before we sort of crack into the news, hey Retro, how's it going? Hey Shenson, how's it going?
Hey, Shanson.
Matt and Rudolph.
Retro.
We're going to crack into sort of three things tonight. The first you can see on my screen is Shenmue VR, which was by Bloodhound Town. We're going to have a look through that. It was released on Christmas Day last year as a demo. We're also going to look at Shenson's Christmas game, Shenmue Gaiden. I've got that ready to go as well. And towards the end of the night, we will play some Shenmue 1 at Christmas. I have a save sat there from Christmas Eve, in fact. Hey, Axel, good to see you in as well. But before we smash into the stream itself and start drinking and partying and getting the mince pies going, James, would you like to take us through the news?
Yes, of course. Okay, guys. So, if you've ordered these things, then these are going to be arriving on your doorstep if they haven't already. But obviously, we've got the music box, which has already arrived. Arrived last week, actually, did it? Was it last week?
Yeah, last week.
Oh, shit, what the fuck was that?
Wednesday, I think. He's broke it! He's broke it!
I just dropped my music sheet and I think it must have just knocked a flash drive thing off.
Oh, okay.
Shit me up, I thought I had broke something then. Yeah, music box. Matt's done an unboxing if you want to see this properly. I'm obviously not doing it justice by holding it there, but that's on the shelf. Obviously, it comes with the signed Ryuji music notes thing. Something did drop, didn't it? Was something else behind there? I don't know. Either way, arriving even more imminent. Perhaps if you pre-order this, you got this today as well. This is the Shenmue inspired cologne, which Matt, you've tested this out. What was your thoughts on this?
Do you know what? I went in there with no expectations whatsoever, and was pleasantly surprised by it. It actually smells a little bit like my Hugo Boss stuff, so I was quite impressed with it. Actually,
just got like a truckload of Hugo Boss and just rebottled it. Do you think?
I mean, I did have a couple of criticisms about it, but watch the unboxing on that to sort of see me talk about it a bit more. The Sailor Magnet. Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, so that is the latest one. That's Matt's perfume unboxing or cologne. Second link in the chat there, guys, is the music box unboxing as well. So moving on from the merchandise side of things, if you've already missed it, but if you don't own Shenmue 3, you could have done yesterday for absolutely nothing. It was free for a 24-hour period, and it actually broke the Epic servers, didn't it, Matt?
It absolutely destroyed them, and suffice to say, they've had a new free game today, and it's fine. Say what you will about that.
Ever since Shenmue 3 is like no longer on the store for free, the servers and stuff have gone back to normal. So what does that say?
Wow, Shenmue carries weight, whether people like it or not. It creates some sort of buzz and publicity, doesn't it? So all good publicity.
Have you seen actually how many is like anyone streaming Shenmue 3?
I don't know. I haven't looked. There's not any popped up on our forum. I was in a Shenmue stream earlier with Ginger. Actually, I was watching one before coming live, but it was the original.
Shenmue
but yeah,
3.
It absolutely. The moment it came out was the moment those Epic servers went tits up. It was a pleasure to see it. Actually, I know there's a lot of people taking shits on the game on Twitter,
Yeah, but
even
the
though
same
they've never
people
played it, and it's the same
moaning.
people whining the entire time. The game's fucking free.
Yeah,
Stop.
and I bet they downloaded it anyway.
Oh, of course they did. More people try the game, the better. Exactly. But there we go. So, yeah, it was free for 24 hours, crashed the Epic servers. There's nothing more we can say. It's all good publicity for the game and the franchise.
What do you think? I know, like you're saying there, good publicity, but do you think there was any reason, any motive for that being the first game to be free?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could just literally be it's a big name and they thought, sod it, we'll give it a go. But I'd like to think there's an ulterior motive. I mean, Epic have got a lot of money. So if they signed Shenmue 4 and thought, do you know what, let's give the third one away for free, chuck it in everybody's hands and widen that market. I'd love that. That'd be the dream, but we'll see. I'm not face value more than anything else, and then anything else is a pipe dream.
Yeah. So moving on, Radio Sega are doing a Winterfest event, which they do every year seemingly. So if you want to, I've got the link there actually. So they've got shows from, your different sort of Sega podcast people. You've got live shows from Radio Sega hosts who play music and have chats and stuff like that. So yeah, 24/7 Sega music on Radio Sega, and we've actually got a Christmas special that's airing on Monday. So Monday the 20th at 5 p.m. GMT. That's going to be like the latest podcast. If you've been keeping up with the podcast, this is going to be the Christmas special. And if you do end up missing it live, you can. Obviously, we're going to put it on YouTube and all of the regular podcast providers on the 21st, the next day. So, yeah. So look forward to that just before Christmas. Have an extra little bit of Shenmue Dojo Christmas content.
All good. Let's have a quick look to see everybody's in chat. Obviously, Axel Stone's in, Anime Hype as well, for sure. We'll talk about the anime a little bit later on and when we think it might be coming. Have a look who else is in. Renner's is in, Sam's in, Band Backup's in, 2022 the year of Shenmue Sessions. Sun's in, Spags is in, Twitch is in, everybody's in tonight. Nice chilled out stream. Get your drinks going, mince pies if you want them, or eggnog. Ugh, eggnog, not a fan of that myself, but
I love eggnog, I do.
Oh, no thanks.
Alcoholic eggnog.
Ooh. But anyway, we're going to sit and party, chill out, and just have a good Christmas time. And we're going to start off with Shenmue VR, which, as I say, was released on the 25th of December last year by Bloodhound Town, who I interviewed, or must be a year ago now, in fact. And we're going to have a very quick tour of Debuita in Dreams. So we'll get this underway. Ignore my dodgy... There we go. Play.
But you're using it just a controller, or you're not using the Move controllers?
I've got a controller. Do let me know, guys, volume-wise, how things are. Oh, pressing the wrong button.
I don't know how many people actually... Oh, he says the game audio is a bit loud.
Yeah, I've just knocked that down.
I don't know how many of you actually go check out my links that I throw in the chat, but I will link Matt's interview with this guy that made this game. Just so it's something for me to do, I suppose.
See the hand. So, while James is linking that, this is just Debuita Street. So we haven't got like Yamanose or anywhere yet, I don't think. I mean, it's been a little while. Yeah, we haven't. So it's going to be a short sort of tour, but it's very well put together, and I know this is part of a wider project. We do have some NPCs. Walk up Chai's hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Was that Garo I just saw?
It looked like him, didn't it?
Yeah, with the Alvis haircut.
Got the alleyway here.
Loads of snow.
Loads of snow. I love the music here. Proper Christmassy.
Has anyone ever got the fight scene that you can get? There's like a hidden Easter egg fight scene at the beyond there.
Yeah.
I always forget when it is though. I think is it disc 2?
Yeah, it's very specific, isn't it? At the point
Yeah,
in the
very
game.
specific. Night time, after 7 o'clock, and you fight in Enoki and the gang again, I think, like an actual free battle.
The snow looks photorealistic. It does look really good. I must say, I mean, this has been put together by one guy on his own as a project. He's been working on this a long time. Got a noodle stand here. Might get a loading screen in a minute.
I wonder if he's hand drawn those kanji characters. Bloody hell, what was that? That looks scary. That bloody Slenderman.
It's because the loads in and out of the area. So you've got the game view here. We'll go in there if we can.
That's really cool, isn't it? You've got the motorbike outside.
Banner.
Yeah, look at the attention to detail there. He's got the Christmas banners up. I bet he's got I've just seen the wreath that was on the barbers to the left.
Yeah, the wreath's on there.
Yeah.
NPC. Car park.
Oh.
See how far we can go this way.
Flower shop, tobacco store on the right, I'm guessing.
I can't go any further here. I've hit sort of an invisible wall.
Yeah.
We'll go back the other way. Is that? I thought it was Father Christmas then. No. I like the music changes actually. It's very peaceful.
Can you do anything with the hand, by the way?
Do that. Like you can pick stuff. If there's stuff to pick up, I think you can pick it up.
Okay.
What's the shop opposite?
Can you do the capsule toy machines or anything like that?
Let's have a quick look at the shop opposite the tobacco shop quickly. I think it's another flower shop. Yeah.
Well, there was one that looked like a bit like a restaurant that I don't think is in the...
Just at the end there, yeah, it's a restaurant-y type thing. Let's have a look at the capsules.
That guy looking at it.
Where's Santa? Yeah, exactly. We'll see if we can find him. But you can't do anything yet with these. Can we go in? So it'll load me in. So it'll load us in. So you've got the jukebox. You've got a hang on there.
Really cool, isn't it?
You've got darts 7. QTE 2. And this is all still sort of a work in progress, but it's pretty accurate, isn't it? In fairness, he's got his Christmas hat on.
That's why I was going to try and get like a Christmas hat, and then I just ended up with this Mickey Mouse one. I didn't get a proper Santa hat for the stream. Retro Godfather, did you manage to get a replacement music box? So what they've ended up doing, Retro, is he's meant to be sending me another pane of glass because apparently it's an easy fix. He says you can either just get like a very small flathead screwdriver or like a suction cup thing, like a sucker, and you should just be able to like shimmy the glass out that's cracked and replace it with a fresh thing. Because to be fair, other than that crack, it's perfect.
And
it sounds amazing, looks amazing.
I had an issue with mine where the mechanism wouldn't stop playing because the button that dropped, and popping the glass off took me 2 seconds. It's really easy, so it saves everything.
I mean, I don't know what that says about quality control, but it just seems like it's just me and Matt that have had issues, which is hilarious, really, when we're the ones that are like potentially promoting the thing for people, and we both had like issues. It's a bit off-putting, I suppose, but
that aside,
it is. Other than those, like Matt's going to say there, that aside, it's quality.
It's very good, very very good item, worth every penny. Bakery there.
You've just been very unlucky, I think.
Yeah, and Jonathan.
And the thing is, I ended up getting 2 because I got one for Nathan in America, and I basically had a 50-50 chance between them, if you think of it like that. Like, I don't know what the other one looks like, but I'm pretty sure the other one's going to be absolutely perfect for Nathan, which is fine because I wouldn't want to send him the one with the cracked glass. I just think it's funny, like, my luck, out of the 2, I get the one that's cracked. Tom?
What he said? Possess?
Possess, really?
That's what that means. Yep, Ginger, you're
Don't know,
right.
man.
Actually, limited run collector's edition is nearly ready. I
That's
reckon
good to hear, Retro.
they reckon it'd be February. I think is what I read, which would be really good. That'll all be getting unboxed.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
Regards like the music box, everyone else that I've seen quite a few like unboxings and tweets and stuff. Everyone else is just fine. So yeah, it's just literally just.
Was that music playing near Tom? We'll go back and have a look at it in a second. I'm near actually sort of the end bit because I can't go too far. Because as I say, it's still a work in progress. But we will go in tomato.
I'm looking forward to my CD box set as well, because obviously I can't get that until limited run ship everything. Have you seen it on the Sega shop, Ginger? Because like me and Matt, we had to pay like 55 quid import and tax fees as well, but it's just been added to the actual Sega shop UK.
So you pay your tax and stuff, even if it gets shipped, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it is £260 though, yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's a brilliant item. Characters are still work in progress as far as I understand, by the way. Band back up.
Well, this is like a year ago, isn't it, anyway?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's been continually working on this for like a year, but...
Hey, Tobias.
Yo,
welcome.
Tobias. Come on,
you are looking at Shenmue in Dreams. This is Shenmue VR by Bloodhound Town. It was released Christmas Day last year as a concept demo. There's Father Christmas. There we go.
Wait, Mayano.
Come here. There we go. I think I grabbed
Some of the characters look like proper zombies, don't they?
Yeah, I think I grabbed his beard.
It's like Shenmue the Walking Dead. Have you got Dreams, Tobias?
Dreams is bloody
Literally,
fantastic.
if you type Shenmue in on Dreams, there must be like 10 different Shenmue phone things.
There's
one of the dojo, isn't there?
Yeah, you've got the Hazuki Dojo, you've got Lucky Hit, you've got Space Harrier, you've got all
You said there was an Outrun.
There is Outrun, I saw an Outrun on there as well. There's loads on Dreams.
And there might be more. I haven't been on Dreams for about a year now, so there might even be more.
There's the music.
Yeah, this is a year old, man. Because he released this for last Christmas.
Not that one. I'll run there for about 30 seconds.
And, let me find that tweet. He's actually just pushed a tweet out where he's created a Ryo Hazuki that you can drop in any Dreams project.
I think that releases on Christmas Day this year.
What's that, sorry?
I think Rio releases on Christmas Day, doesn't it, this year?
Yeah, apparently so, yeah. We did retweet this, but if you've not seen this is pretty cool. This had us fooled for a little bit, because it looks like he actually unveils a Ryo Hazuki action figure.
This music,
and then when
I don't know.
What do you think is in a Yokosuka dog? Possibly something like navy curry. I know maybe they've got some sort of curry sauce over the dog. If they just allocated some music boxes to Sega Shop, probably retro. If I had to guess, I'd probably say like 50 maybe max. I'm still surprised they're in stock, if I'm being honest.
I think it's probably because they're pricey.
Yeah, that's probably why, but it just feels like everyone I know has got one, so it's... To be fair, I only know about 10 people.
I don't know what this music is, in fairness. It sounds nice. So yeah, I think that will cover it for Shenmue in Dreams. It's a great little project. I'd love to see actually how far it's come on in the year.
Yeah.
Because it could. I know he was on about he wanted to do Dobuita, Sakurajoko, and the Dojo and Yamanose. He was debating.
Well, he kind of has. He has got the dojo, hasn't he? When you first start the game, well, not the dojo as such, but like the Hazuki residence.
So it's very pretty and very good. Like I said, I'm quite impressed with it, and the time and effort it's taken. Fair play.
It's a good proof of concept anyway. With Dreams, and I assume it's like even better in VR.
Right.
Oh, Richard Cartledge says the music is Ryuichi Sakamoto. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Hey Richard, how's it going? Right, I'm gonna just pull my Elgato off. So bear with me. I'll go to rest. We're gonna move on now to another game. Sun will recognise this one.
It's interesting, Ginger. So you've got number 180 exclusive Rio. I know if you registered with First for Figures, like your number, you were supposed to get first dibs on the same number next time around.
Hey, Silver.
Well, when it was on sale, obviously.
Pull the music down a little bit. There we go.
How you doing, Richard, by the way? Just reading your comment out, didn't even say hello. You okay?
So, this is a point-and-click adventure created by our staff member Shenson, who's in chat. Was it 2017 this came out? Or was it 18?
Yeah, well, I think you said... Is this the first one or the second one?
It's the second one I've got, so we'll probably do about an hour's
Okay,
worth
so I
of
think it did come out like February 2018, I think you said.
I think so, I can't remember. I think it was due for Christmas 17, but then came out in February.
Delayed slightly. Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't hit the shift key or wheel scroll on your mouse. Okay, so what happens if I do that? Right, let's give this a go.
Game on.
It speeds up the game, it skips to the end. Right, okay.
Ooh, what did you do there?
Let's get it on.
Oh, so you've got the Landy figure then, Ginger, yeah?
Ho, 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 ho.
I need to get Landy, actually. There's been a few on eBay, but very expensive, prohibitively so, actually.
$1.5 grand.
Wow, yeah.
So, let me link this game for anyone that's interested.
Dumped on me. Oh dear.
Hotfix, Chanson. Get on it. So there's the link for this game that Matt's gonna play in a second.
Let's have a go at it again.
I have to take this hat off.
Upsetting.
You've got the Christmas effect here, guys. Yeah, I can take this off.
Yeah, there is a Landy on for about 400.
Let's get it on.
That was 500 because no one went on it. See if this works. If this doesn't work, we'll go into Shenmue 1. It worked when I tested it earlier, so I don't know what it's doing.
Didn't scroll the mouse wheel, did you?
Didn't touch it.
Here we go.
No, it's crashed again. Ah,
Really?
shit. Yeah.
I'm running the game code file game/script.
It's that font.
Oh, you need to download a font.
I did install it. Does it need to be in... Right, okay, hang on. Let's see if we can sort this out quickly, because I do have it. Let's pop it in there. Right, let's try again. So install for all users. Right. Let's try again. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to cry.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I just did install it again.
Let's get it on. Ho 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 ho!
Yeah, installed.
Right, let's see how we go.
Just might get the chat as well if anyone wants to
There we
install that
go.
font.
There we go. It's fine.
Nice, nice.
Don't know why it cocked up, but easy fix. Cheers, son. Appreciated.
So, son, do you want to reveal any secrets? How did you make this game? Did you? I assume you just took like loads of screenshots and.
Say it must have taken a bloody age because these are Dreamcast screenshots as well. You can tell by the watch.
Yeah, true.
What was my name?
Peter streamed this actually. I think that was probably like when it first came out, or when he was with the Shenmue Lounge even.
Possibly, yeah.
Oh?
Got the Landy statue currently wearing a Christmas hat.
Good work. So Eri's bad with names. Excellent. So this has got branching sort of dialogue, so I could really piss her off if I wanted to, or I could just be polite. So like,
I remember you saying it was. It's got branching. You can be a dick if you want to, can't you?
You can be a complete knob.
Do it.
Do
Thanks
it.
for this.
Well, there you go.
Whatever.
It's really sassy. Dickhead run. Hurt. What's with the attitude? Well, remember my name. Damn it. How bloody rude.
So anyway...
That sounds really cool, by the way, Shenson. Supposed to be made for mobile phones. I'm just going to make it a big 30-hour game for people to play as they go around in their daily lives. Quests, fights, build, social relations. Sounds like Shenmue City.
Does a bit, doesn't it? Oh, apparently now I'm a charmer.
One.
I love the snowy scene in the Shenmue 1, it's class. Oh, Gowan. Getting your football nick again.
Is this Shenmue canon then, this game?
I love the Christmas music. Right, we're doing a dickhead run, so...
Beat it, kid.
Apparently, I'm joking. He said I was joking. Piss off.
You still working on any of this, Shenson? Like, could you turn it into a mobile game these days? Still.
Hey. You doing okay?
Yeah, I do great because I'm doing on dickhead run. Struggling to find Rio Christmas present. Oh dear. Remain silent.
Remain silent. That just sounds like Rio anyway.
Does a bit, doesn't it? Well, how rude. Supposed to be meeting me at the bus station or bus stop and then don't. Disgraceful behaviour.
Let's get it on.
Nice.
You're all talk.
Pushed
I
it in
see.
years. The project was originally created to give the community something to play, and we didn't know if Shenmue 3 would ever exist.
Come on.
So how long did it take you to make it? Because I know you did like a half an hour version as
Yeah.
well before.
Shenmue Gaiden. And that was cancelled, wasn't it? Completely, I think. And then
How's it going?
Spurred into this issue.
Hiya.
It's supposed to be a year-long game on the calendar, and this was just a Christmas event that happened during December.
Oh, bloody hell.
Cool, man.
About a month.
About a
Oh,
month.
It's pretty quick.
Very well.
Let's get this way.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get it
Do
on.
some of that aftershave. Oh, I'll go for it.
Nice. Nice little screen shake.
Oh, Rio's getting angry.
What you should make next, Shenson, is like a Pokemon Go style game, but for Shenmue. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be really good.
Collecting capsule toys or something.
Oh, get rid of that. Right.
Monetize it, and, like single-handedly make Shenmue 4.
That'd be quite cool. Mobile games, I mean, to be fair, some of them can make a shed load of money, can't they?
Yeah, exactly, man. It's a shame, like, Shenmue City never really... I don't even know what happened to it. Because it was supposed to have been out for a year in Japan before it was, like, cancelled or canned or whatever.
Disappeared.
But it'd be
didn't it?
interesting to see what would have happened, like, if they'd have let it run a bit longer, or, I don't know. If it was, like, released now, could it do well now, do you think? I don't know.
Well, possibly, as long as the gameplay, as Peter was saying, actually, the gameplay loop is addictive and it sort of encourages you to buy more things as you play. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Very well.
Actually. I like the music. It's very soothing after a hard
What are you
week.
drinking there, Matt?
I have some vodka. Lots of vodka. Vodka is definitely my tipple.
I'd say, well, not that I really drank much vodka, but when I've had it, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even think if I like it or not. You'll have to recommend some good vodka or something, and I'll try it. Do you mix it with anything?
Pepsi Max normally.
Yeah, okay.
Quite good.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with this whiskey here.
Do I remember any of the story? I remember nothing, so I'm going in completely blind. Crystal Skull vodka actually is really good. Put it on
So
ice.
you say something about that the other day. Yeah.
See ya.
What should I do now?
Not that I'm a big drink or anything, but I'd like to try what people like.
Grey Goose is nice, actually. Yeah.
Hey,
I remember picking up. Actually, I got it as a Christmas tip once. The Glenfiddich or whatever it's called. Whiskey.
Oh yeah.
That was. I don't know if it still is. I don't think it is in the remasters, but in the original Shenmue, behind the bars, it was all Glenfiddich or whatever it's called, behind the bars in Shenmue. So this guy on my round, he's got like a crazy 2 years in a row. He just opened his garage and it was just full of like alcohol and stuff like that. Just, I think he's like a big lorry driver, and he goes like obviously across the countries to Europe and stuff. So probably like gets loads of duty free and buys a shed ton of stuff, and brings it back to his I don't know. Honestly, mate, his garage was just full. It looked like a shop. He just had like every bottle of different branding and all that sort of stuff, and he just says pick anything you want. So I was like, oh, I recognise this Glenfiddich. I was like, oh, I'll try some of that if you don't mind, mate.
Oh, it's Santa.
Merry Christmas.
Spags, it is Dan Aykroyd's vodka. It's bloody brilliant as well.
Oh, is it that Crystal Skull thing?
Yeah, it's really good. You put it on ice, so you can't even taste it. It doesn't like blow your head off. It's just really nice, smooth drink.
You think it's weird how these celebrities, obviously it's a money-making thing, like it's like what's Dan Aykroyd got to do with anything? Do you know what I mean? What is he bringing to the vodka thing? Is it different flavour? Dan Aykroyd's vodka? You know what? It's just associating a name. It's like David Beckham's got his own whiskey, hasn't he? That
Yeah.
Got what it's called. I've had some of that. It's quite nice, but I mean, at the end of the day, what is it? Does he even know what it is? Yeah, Hog beer, Hog whiskey, Hog Club, isn't it? Yeah, that's really nice whiskey, but he's not sitting in a fucking lab, is he? Like loads of different things, and like this is the David Beckham.
Conor McGregor's got his own whiskey as well. I can't remember what
It's weird how this stuff happens, isn't it? Do you think a company approaches them, or the other way around? Very involved, is he? I guess maybe they're just really into.
Shenmue whiskey's next on the list. Yeah, I'd drink it. Well,
I have to mention that to this Sega shop. They're up for anything by the looks of it. Publicity thing, yeah, it probably is. I know what you're saying. It's gets the name out there, doesn't it? It's like perfume. At the end of the day, you know, like a celebrity having their own scent. It's not really like what they smell like. It's just, you know, like Britney Spears scent or whatever.
Mm.
Colin McGregor. So what's Colin McGregor got? Did you say a whiskey?
Conor McGregor's got a whiskey. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Punch.
Wow, recently for him it's getting knocked out, but
That's it. Really?
flipping out.
Is that Johnny Depp's own cologne, is it? Or did he just advertise it? £100 a bottle. Weird, isn't it? I just think it's weird how people have this sort of mentality. Like, I bet if you smelt that cologne that's £100 a bottle, I bet it smells, I don't know, no different to another cologne, or
I don't know.
maybe it does, but I just wondering like what the appeal of paying more for something that smells a little bit nicer. Because it's not like you can show off the brand. It's not like clothing, like an item of clothing like you wear in Stone Island or something. Do you know what I mean? If someone's just walking past you, are they going to recognise that as a Johnny Depp smell?
Oh, here we
Or is
go.
it? I think it's more for the person wearing it. It's their mentality. They're like, I'm wearing this £100
Save some money,
cologne.
go to Boots, get the testers.
Yes.
Ollie, it's Shenmue Guide and it's a fan-made game by Shenson for Christmas. Launched in February 2018.
Oh.
Point and click.
Still my link. That's the font you need anyway. So download that font if you're interested, and I'll link the game again. I thought it was still me. Control V. There you go. It's a nice 2.5 hour game, right, Shanson? To enjoy over the festive period. Replayability as well.
I like that actually. That little bit of text there. All his money goes to his brother in China, which is a nice little nod actually to you find his brother.
Only a Shenmue fan, yeah. Only a Shenmue fan can like do this dialogue.
Yeah.
Wang San in Yanton Apartments. It's good actually, Shensun, because you are like fleshing out the lore between these characters. So, like, obviously, Wang in Shenmue 1 would never talk about his brother because you don't meet his brother until Shenmue 2 to get that connection. So you've kind of added a bit of extra lore. It's one of the Easter eggs in this game. I remember Peter doing backflips when he discovered them.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I've still got the tail end of this vaccine, which is annoying.
Is this? Did you say this is the boosters actually like
it
the first time it's affected you?
Yeah,
the first two
absolutely messed me up. Horrendous.
I've got my booster scheduled for next Tuesday, I think.
My wife's got hers tomorrow.
Yo, what's up?
And we're saying it's weird how the boosters have been different vaccines, aren't they? No one's that I'm aware of. No one's had the same vaccine that they had in the first two jabs.
I haven't. Oh, she's just slapped me. So we get for ignoring me.
Hey,
Ow.
listen.
Bloody rude. Oh, she's gonna see a fortune teller. Dear.
Slapped again.
Yeah. Get punched in the face.
Welcome to Lapis. I've been expecting you.
Okay, that's interesting, Ginger. It says all three of his jabs has been the Pfizer.
Shall I read your fortune then?
Yeah.
Booster 3.
Please,
Okay.
take a seat. Aha! I can see it now.
I like the use of the actual little dialogue lines here. It fits it nicely. Flying waffle, yeah. It hit me like an anvil the next day.
I wonder if anything's different with the booster. Like a bigger. Did you notice if it was a bigger dose?
No idea. I didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah.
Hey Abdullah, how's it going?
Hey, Abdullah. Bit of a headache.
Well then.
Yeah, the
Please
first two
come
didn't really
again
affect me at
when you
all,
seek
so.
guidance.
It didn't affect me either.
See you later. Bye.
Hey Chow.
Hey, Chow. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, we were just saying, just because I know everyone that I've spoken to who's had a booster has had, like, say if they had Moderna going into it, the booster was something different. Booster got me good this week too, worse
Hey,
than the
Titch.
second dose. Proper rough ride, but like you said, better than the alternative, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So did you have a different jab than your first two, Titch? Wonder if anyone's had like the bloody trio, like Pfizer, Moderna, and whatever the other one was called. What was the other one called? AstraZeneca. Yeah.
Wales could be locking down. I don't. To avoid going too. That's exactly what I had, Titch, and it just messed me up.
Okay.
I don't know if there'll be a full lockdown. Not with people getting boosted. I'd hope not anyway, but if they've got to do it for safety, they've got to do it. But I'll avoid the COVID talk, 'cause it would just. We don't want people getting depressed about COVID. It's Christmas, damn it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I had two Moderna, and I've booked the exact same location for the third. So I'm wondering like what they're going to give me for the booster.
Yeah, true, Ginger. True. Scary Santa. Yeah.
Triple Pfizer, okay.
Oh, very nice. Got it.
It's kind of like seeing this in the chat is a bit more reassuring though, that it just seems like they are just giving you whatever.
Yeah, they are. It's better than the alternative, and if it means we can sort of go out and have a normal Christmas, then it's fine. And speaking of Christmas, before we sort of get into next year, what are people doing for it? So James, what are you going to do for Christmas?
Christmas this year, well, I work up until Christmas Eve, so...
Same.
Yeah, so Christmas Day, typically we stay at home and my mum and dad will come round, and Lou's mum and aunt will come round, and one of her friends will come round, and that's literally it, really. Did used to have more family at one point, but obviously, people dropping dead over the years, so that is like the group of people that come around every Christmas these days. The Boxing Day we probably just stay in, and then this year, because of the way the bank holidays fall, I've actually got 4 days off in a row, which is cool. So I've got like the Saturday, Sunday, the Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm back in work for 3 days, and then I've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, I think, if that's how that works.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a little bit of a debate, really, originally with the New Year's Day, with it being, I think it is because New Year's Day is on a Saturday. Technically, in Royal Mail, that's like a working day. So there was a little bit of debate where they were trying to get us to come in on the 1st.
Ryo-san!
But I think it's Ofcom got involved and said, like, you can't do that. So we've got that off now, which is good. So I have got another 3 days off.
I'm working.
The New Year's.
I work up to Christmas Eve, let off for 4 days like you, back
Yeah.
in for 3, then I've got the first week of January off as leave, so that's quite nice.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And have you got those 3 days bank holidays as well? So you'll get, like, you've only used 3 days
So
leave.
I've used 4 days
know what I mean.
leave to get a week off, which isn't too bad.
Okay.
I'm working in between, but my line of work, it should be quite quiet, which would be lovely.
So Spag says he finished work for the year today. Lovely.
It's alright for some.
Mm.
Retro work is some of it, just relaxing. Ginger for tomorrow, I have Wednesday off for Christmas. The first Christmas off in 15 years. Wow.
Oh, nice, man.
And then Silver, cooking for the family, drinking, poker, and Cards Against Humanity. Yes, I love Cards Against Humanity. That's a New Year game, New Year's Eve game. We play that. I've done 4 days off and 3 days for New Year's. Not bad. Yeah, work for civil service. I work for a local authority, so similar line of work.
Oh, that's cool, Ginger.
Ho, 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 ho.
You don't have to reply, but what do you do,
Merry
Ginger? Like
Christmas.
that you have to typically work Christmas Day? No worries if you can't. You don't want to answer. MI or something, whatever it is.
Oh,
Government.
shy.
Oh, okay, dementia unit. Okay, good stuff. What are you doing for Christmas Day then, Ginger? If you've never had a Christmas Day off in 15 years, what does someone like that do to celebrate Christmas Day? It's a bit of a treat, isn't it?
Oh, he's nicked the presents as well. Miserable bastard.
Just know, is there any issue? I know you're streaming, Matt. Is there any issue with me uploading a video while you're streaming?
No, carry on.
To the Dojo channel, is what I mean.
It should be alright. It shouldn't kill your internet. We'll find out in a minute. Try
Oh,
with
with the
this.
top hat, yeah.
Very tongue-in-cheek, this. I like that idea, though.
Yeah, the shadow. Any guesses who the shadow is?
Scrooge soldier, I like that.
Interesting, Ginger.
Santa's taken a lot of batterings in this. Bar work's hard work as well, especially at this time of year.
You know what I realised, man? We did have a 26 episode round season of the show, and adding this one's the 27th. So
it doesn't count. It's a winter special.
Should I? Because that's what I did on Anchor. I picked it as episode 27. Do you think I should not? I didn't know what to do with it.
I don't mind. 27 episodes though. Bloody
Sounds
hell.
a bit weird, doesn't it?
Hey William, how's it going? I'm just gonna refresh the chat because I think it's just stopped functioning properly on my end here.
Let me know if anything changes because I'm not.
Very well.
We went nuts with the content. Do you know, it worked out as podcasts and interviews one every 2 weeks.
That's crazy because it felt like at some points we were like, we haven't done a show for 2 months. Let's do, we should really do something. But like I say, because of your interview series, you were cranking them out. And
No problem.
I'm on a break from them now, but I've got one booked for January, which I'm recording on the 4th actually of January. So I'll be recording that before we stream on the 4th.
Yeah.
I'm
just really pleased, man. I think if you were to take like the whole year as a thing, like what we've done and some of the stuff like these merchandise items to the side of me and just some of the news and stuff, I think we've had a decent year, haven't we? I think obviously what's happening in the world, we've just been talking about like COVID and that sort of stuff, isn't great, but if you're just thinking solely Shenmue, it's not been a bad year, has it really?
I mean, it's been a pretty good year. I mean, all the merch that we've got is crazy. And then you look at the anime trailer that we got, which
I wonder if that's just because because of all the stuff we do, like we really, even when nothing Shenmue's happening, we're thinking Shenmue. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just me and you, but I think everyone in the chat is like thinking about Shenmue on a daily basis, right? So are we a special group of people? Is the people like sat at home thinking like we've not heard anything Shenmue for a year, what's going on? Whereas like because we're doing stuff constantly, it feels like it's been a better year than it actually has. I don't know.
Personally, I enjoy doing it all. Like,
yeah, same.
It's all sort of trial and error. You pick things up, you try things out. They work, they don't work. Hey Sonic.
Hey dude,
how's it going? Thank you watching all of our podcast streams and everything in between. It is appreciated.
Always comment as well. Yeah, really appreciate all of you. Every time we upload a video, you comment. Even on my channel, it's like Shenmue.
Retro Godfather, probably weren't a Shenmue before. It's been a very good year. It has been a good year for Shenmue. I mean, the amount of merch we've got, the anime looks fantastic. I think we're doing well.
Dude, it would, right? That's such a good idea. Why didn't you think of that? Sega Europe have like a Shenmue Christmas jumper.
It's funny because I think it's Sega Shop. They've either got some fans there of Shenmue, because they keep pumping the stuff out, or it keeps doing well, so they keep doing it.
I think it's probably the latter. I think because every time they've released something, they're probably surprised how well it's done, because we all buy bloody at least 2 of each item, don't we? You know what I mean? Like the duck.
What is it?
Sorry, I can't see I suppose I can see the camera there, but it should be there, yeah. Just like the duck.
I don't know nothing. Cut the crap.
I've bought 2 of these. Peter's bought 2 of these.
I've got a couple beyond.
I don't know how many. You've got a couple, Matt. Yeah. That's just what a Shenmue fan does. We buy 2 of everything, apart from the music box, of course, because you couldn't afford that. 2 of that,
but even that,
perfume, got 2 of that.
Even the music box, we managed to get one to give away.
It's true.
Which was cool. I mean, son, you're right. It is going to be crazy. The anime in every episode, people will go crazy. I do wonder how they will release it, because on Netflix they release everything in one go. The whole season comes out.
I think they do on Crunchyroll. I might be wrong, but I think when they release it, they're going to do it all as one big season, which is good for us. it will be weekly Shensong things. Possibly, actually, because
I told you, I
one
don't
of the
know
things,
them.
one of the perks of like being a Crunchyroll subscriber is supposed to be like you get the episodes 1 hour after the air in Japan or something like that. So
I mean, if it is
think
week
it
by
might be-
week, that's not a bad thing, because then that gives us. When we're talking out loud, we talked about this behind the scenes as well, how we plan our content around the anime and what we're doing. So, like, weekly would be quite good, because then we'd do weekly catch-ups on it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, basically, what me and
Rio.
Matt have been thinking about is we were planning on doing like a live commentary watch of each episode. So you're seeing our reactions to things that are happening within the episodes. And then we were going to do a weekly
Let's go.
episode of the podcast where we do like a deep dive into that episode. So originally I was thinking if they do release it all as one big chunk of 13 episodes,
Get
we could
away,
watch.
man!
We'd probably have like 3 nights in a
outta
row.
here.
Like we'd probably both book a week off work and do like 3 nights in a row where we watch 4 episodes, for example, with the viewers, and then going from that we'd do like 13 weeks of a podcast episode, which I think would be
I don't
amazing.
know.
So you
I
break down the
swear.
episode
I'll break your
for the
arm.
second time. So we've already seen it. We've got initial thoughts. We know what's going to happen at the end of the season, so we can take that back to episode 1 and see if there's like any links and stuff like that. That
Where is he?
you know, a lot of these shows and stuff might be layered, so that
let's
something that
see.
happens. I mean, we know the story of Shenmue, but you don't know how they're going to take the anime in a different direction, whereby something could happen in the first episode that we've,
You
like
better
that
or
child
else.
scene in the dojo that
I
carries on
don't
to something
know.
later in the
I
series, and
said
we can
I don't know.
look back and do a bit of a retrospect. I think that was my idea. But if they are going to do it weekly basis, then
Let's go.
that's possibly even better, because then it gives us a bit more time.
It does.
And it flashes the
Let's go.
it's not like a flash in the pan sort of thing where the anime's released, everyone's talking about Shenmue for like 2 weeks and then it's gone again, whereas at least this is going to be like a 13-week period and then potentially another 4 or 5
Let's
weeks
get
perhaps
him.
before it dies down. At least you've had like a solid half a year.
Yeah.
Have I done my maths right there?
The thing is, 13
You know what I mean? Like a
13
third of a
episodes
year,
is-
yeah.
You go in sort of quarter, third of a year. You've then potentially got merchandise to come from that, DVDs, everything else in between. There's
Yeah.
so much that we could be
Let's get it
get our
on.
hands on in terms of content for Shenmue outside of Shenmue 4.
Because that is literally 13 weeks is 3 months, essentially. So it just puts you in a bit of a better position
That's much
where
better
you're
position.
not feeling like we're waiting for Shenmue 4, or which we probably will be. It's just I'd be interested to see the viewer ratings of like
Hey,
episode
wait!
1 compared to the final episode.
Mm.
How seasons and shows typically have like more viewers on episode 1, and then like come the end of the season it's like, I don't know, maybe a fifth of the viewership. Maybe the season finale picks up again, which is weird. I mean, why would you watch a show, the first episode and the last episode? Why would you not watch the whole thing? I always find that weird with like viewers, ratings and stuff. Like if you look at ratings for like
Pointless.
shows, say look at the ratings for The Office, episode 1 might have 10 million viewers, and then episode 6 has got like 2 million viewers, and then the final episode's got 10 million again. It's like, why? I personally would never watch the last episode before, if there's ongoing story and stuff. That makes no sense to me. But
I'm gonna be
Pointless.
very interested to see how it gets received. As you say, the first episode's gonna be, it sets the tone, doesn't it? How?
Yep.
'Cause we already know the karate is going to be in it, so I wonder if they'll end the first episode with a WoW dying.
Potentially, mate. Like you say, it looks like they're going to go before the fight scene in the dojo. And from us watching that Shenmue Saturn footage. There's a bit before, the originally planned chats with the WoW and Fukusan and stuff like that. I'm being honest, thinking about an episode 1, I'd probably have like the bit of context on characters, maybe like the martial arts thing, and then maybe the WoW thing is like halfway through the episode, and then I don't know where can you think of a cliffhanger after the WoW? Hang on, we're getting raided here. Pixel Cats.
Pixel Cats is raiding us. I was in her stream earlier. Thank you.
Oh,
for raiding
nice.
us. Hey, Grumpy,
So-
good to see you.
So she was playing
Rolls?
Shenmue 3.
Shenmue 1.
Shenmue 1, okay. That's good to see.
Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the raid. How's everyone
Just
doing?
caught us in the middle of an anime discussion then.
Yeah. This just
But
for
yeah,
everybody,
nice to see everyone.
just for everybody who's popped in. This is a fan-made Christmas game called Shenmue Gaiden, but I will be dipping into some Shenmue 1 a bit later on. But thanks for the raid and dropping in, everybody. Thanks for the follow, Pixel Cats. Appreciate it.
trying to
as
keep it-
always.
Trying to keep it a bit Christmassy.
Yeah, it's
So we're going through these Christmas-themed fan games.
Shenmue Dojo Christmas party. I don't look very Christmassy, but James is making it up for me.
I did have my hat on as well at one point, and then it got a little bit too hot, but I'll pop it back on for a moment.
Such a good hat. I do have
Pretty cool,
tinsel
actually.
around my TV, to be fair.
I was thinking again, because obviously I've been editing that episode of the podcast. I want to see your Christmas decorations that you're on about.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen that sort of setup for about 20 years.
So for everybody in chat, we will talk about Christmas decorations on our podcast episode, which is going to air on Monday/Tuesday. And for those who remember, or of a certain age to remember, you remember the foil like ceiling decorations you dangle sort of off the ceiling like big baubles, Christmas trees, and like basically foil garden stuff. We've got a load of it downstairs in our house because me and the wife remember having those as kids. I should take a photo and send it.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I mean,
Oh, excuse me.
I know exactly what you're thinking, but it's weird because I don't know why. I've got a bit of like a nostalgic sort of memory because I can't think where I would have it from. But I can see exactly what you're on about.
Let's get it on.
Which is a bit surreal. You know, like those sort of Christmas tree things that are like just flat, aren't they? Like flat
Yeah,
pieces of card with
And
foil
they
on.
fold out.
Maybe did we make them at school? Maybe that could be what I'm thinking of.
I remember making Christmas decorations at school. You make like snowflakes and stuff.
Yeah.
You
that could be what
fold
I'm
them
thinking
into
of.
like quarters and then like cut them up and then they'd pop out.
Oh shit! Is that what you're on about? Where you've got like a
Yeah.
piece of paper and you fold it about 12 times and then start cutting
That's it.
things
yeah.
in it and then open it up and it's a snowflake.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Pixel, for dropping in and getting. I'll see if you pop back. Are you going to lurk in the background? I'm hungry, actually. Yeah, I remember making those at school.
Did anyone used to make those banger things where same sort of thing, you fold it a few times and then you go bang and the paper like makes the bang. Do you know what I'm on about?
I do know what you're on about, yeah.
Yeah. I used to be able to make those so easy. I don't think I could do it now, but it's like 4 folds and then you've got a piece of paper that you this game was probably about an hour, would you say? Into it?
Probably about 45 minutes.
Maybe not
in.
even that.
It's 2.5 hour
45
game,
minutes.
but what I'll be doing is before this we did Shenmue VR, or Shenmue in Dreams, where someone had recreated Debuita Street in Dreams, which is really cool. We're doing this as another Christmas themed game, and then I'm going to drop into Shenmue 1 as I've got a Christmas Eve save. So I'm hoping we'll get like some of the nice cutscenes that happen around Christmas as well.
Hi, Sega Ness, by the way. Shenmue unofficial. He thinks the first episode of the anime will end with a scene of a WoW death in Rio's arms. I mean, I could see that.
Yes,
So yeah, going
yes,
back, what?
retro.
Yeah,
I
what was
remember
thinking?
that. I remember that. Yeah, you just showing my age on stream, but I remember that.
Chocolate money. You can
Wow.
still pick up like that, those bags of chocolate money from like B&M and stuff.
Yeah, you can. I think
I used to
Co-op
quite
even sell
like
them.
the taste of that chocolate as well.
Yeah, I did. It was all right.
I reckon the first episode will end with Rio learning about the harbour. Do you think they go that far in the first episode,
I
Chanson?
suppose the thing is, thinking about it, you've got 13 episodes, and they've got to cover Shenmue
Yeah.
1, the entire of Shenmue 1, and quite a lot of Shenmue 2. If not all of it, depending on how...
True. It
quick
is
they
true,
go.
because Shenmue 2, from just judging from the trailer alone, we've seen like the promo shot is Landy and Rio on the rooftop, so that is like the end of disc 3.
And we've seen Bailu
And
Village.
we've also seen Bailu Village and stuff like that, so...
As I say, for anybody who was in
Yeah.
Pixel's chat earlier, obviously she's going on a blind playthrough, so I hope for the love of God she turned the volume off, because we're spoiling the hell out of the games.
I don't think we said anything that's like
Nothing major, but
nothing major.
nothing major, but yeah, we'll try and watch it.
It says I still get chocolate money every year. It's not Christmas without it. We're going to like a cashless society, though, aren't we? The way it's going.
Hey Yanni,
Gonna
how's
end
it
up with
going?
like chocolate Bitcoin eventually.
Ah, good. So she's making food. She hasn't heard us spoil the entire game.
Hey up, Yanni.
I mean, son, you're right. You can
Cut
cut.
Charlie
There
from
are
the
stuff you can
movie.
cut out, like Charlie. You don't need that.
Having said that, though, what story content there is in the games, why would you want to cut that? Do you know what I mean? Because, especially when you think of Shenmue 3, we're hoping that they're going to add more story content in. So if you go back to the story segments of Shenmue
I'm
1
really
and Shenmue
ashamed.
2 specifically, I don't know, are they going to go out of the way to cut stuff like that? I mean, they might cut like side stuff, you know, like Hisaka-san saying, can you go help Mai out behind the warehouses, and then, you know, you have that fight where you beat up the women. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they could cut stuff like that out, but I think like major story stuff, like Charlie feels a bit major to me.
I reckon you can get rid of it because I mean, I reckon I don't.
It depends what sort of they're going to do with the detective aspect. Like, what lead would you go from to cut the Charlie lead out then?
That's the only problem. I mean, sailors wise, they could literally say, "Oh, yeah, we worked at the harbour" or something along those lines.
Yeah. Because Charlie shows up a bit later, doesn't he? Because you were supposed to be heading to the arcade, and then Charlie's in the way.
Yeah.
I can't think what happens at the end of that scene. Hopefully she's still not listening.
Just looking at the chat.
Pixel.
Looking at the chat quick. TTV Marksman. This is as a fan game, Shenmue Gaiden, A Christmas Story. It's completely fan made, point and click adventure. We're showing this off as a Christmas game. It's made by Shenson, who's also in the chat. Michael, do we know how much artist license the anime will have? I assume quite a bit. They've had access to a lot of the source material, so they've got license to use some of the stuff that was cut, aka the karate tournament and how Ryo got his scar. So there's lots of things they can move around. They have license to cut things out they don't need, some of the slower pacing stuff which won't translate well to TV, and keep in the faster paced stuff. Look at the anime trailer. How many fights are in that trailer?
Whole trailer's just fighting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I did see someone mention that particular director, I think, you know, like he's done One Punch Man and that sort of stuff. Most of his animes that he has done are very action based, which, I mean, could be a good thing for Shenmue. I know we like this slow paced aspect of it, but you've got that in the games. So maybe if the anime focuses on the action side of things and gets fans involved in the games, that can really help Shenmue 4 as well.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, the anime is hopefully, we all hope, going to bring more people in. And actually, Abdullah's saying about the Epic thing being free on Epic, that's going to be more people potentially who might pick up the originals because they've gone, you know what, I'll give this a go. And the originals are quite often on sale on Steam. So
I had noticed, when you tweeted out that first tweet about it being free, and you tweeted that you can get the first 2 games for $24.99. That is literally full price again, isn't it? So do you think they must be in some sort of talks between each other to know that now we don't need a sale on Shenmue 1 and 2, we can put them back to $24.99, and people are going to get Shenmue 3 for free, which means, I've got Shenmue 3 for free, but I'm not going to play this. I want to play the first 2 games first. $24.99.
That's great.
To like a
Your moves are
newcomer
so
to the
smooth
series,
and powerful.
still seems like a decent price, doesn't it? Even though they have been as little as like a couple of quid or whatever.
You're getting 3 games for 25 quid essentially. That's pretty damn good.
But I think Sega knew that was going to happen, because Shenmue 1 and 2 have been on sale for years now, aren't they?
On and off, yeah, definitely.
On and off at least, and typically we're in the off period now, which I think there's something in that, which is a good thing because Sega are getting more money from Shenmue in a sense.
Exactly, and then you couple in the merchandise that we keep getting as well, and you're not in a bad position really. TTV only release date for Shenmue 4 the anime. Shenmue 4, no. The last we knew they were pitching to publishers. This was a year ago. Now, so whatever's going on behind the scenes, we don't know. The anime is due to release next year. As for when, we haven't got an exact release date, although my theory is it will be towards the end of the first quarter, if not the second quarter of the year. So I would anticipate it being quite soon.
You saw the other day.
I did.
It's even listed in Adult Swim's shows now. I don't know what website you found it on, but I think that tells us that it's going to be really soon.
I would, if they're listing it
the next few months, I would say,
You'd think that thing is nearly ready. I mean,
they're preparing to release it, aren't we?
February. I'd take February. That'd be quite nice. It'd be really busy.
Not bad idea.
Right, man.
Really, really busy February actually. If we get the limited run game stuff as well, and then they do all of that. Christ.
And to be fair, Shanson, Shenmue 2 is the meat and potatoes of the story, isn't it? It's there's so much content that they could work with from Shenmue 2. I do get what you're saying. Originally, episode 6, I think, of the show, when Peter involved, he was on about half of the 13 episodes. Say the first 6 episodes could be devoted to Shenmue 1, and then the second 6 could be devoted to Shenmue 2. So. And then your 13th episode is to wrap up the whole thing there. Perhaps the Landy fight on the rooftop kind of thing in that 13th episode. That's a nice basis for me, but like Shanson's saying, there is more that happens in Hong Kong and Shenmue 2 sort of stuff, so they could possibly only have to cover Shenmue 1 in the first 3 or 4 episodes, maybe.
What Scar was made by Wow's Katana's secret training session? Possibly.
If you think back to the Comic-Con event and that sort of stuff that we watched, Matt, that guy, the panel host guy, he said that he'd seen the first episode.
Yeah, so
and the trailer was very much centered around what seemed like the plot of the first game. Do you know what I mean? You'd seen a little bit in the dojo, the fight scene with Landy at the start of the game. You'd seen a little bit the Mad Angels and stuff. So Shansung could be onto something in a sense that maybe the trailer was episode 1, because that was the only episode that got finished. I'm pretty sure they must have had all the stuff finished by then. But
the fact that at that point, bear in mind, this was October, they had an episode done, all finished and done. It can't be far away. I mean, can you imagine at the end of 12 Andy jumps down from the helicopter to fight Rio? Good God. That'd be a
Yeah, but
interested.
you were saying that would be too soon, wouldn't you? If the Brio fights Landy at the end of the
He'll
season
get
1.
killed. He'll get absolutely murdered.
Yeah.
He'll get absolutely murdered.
I think it would make a good live-action movie as well, Abdullah, to be honest.
It's interesting how this fits in as well with the Sega sort of movie universe, because I think we're getting a Yakuza movie at some point. Obviously, you got the Sonic movies, and the first Sonic movie is excellent. I'm looking forward to the second one. So
Yeah, me
if the anime
too.
takes off, that's another sort of added string, isn't it, to Sega sort of branching out into wider media. Anime better than
I don't know if they'd. I don't know if I could see a live-action Shenmue movie like that,
Right,
but
man.
I know what you're saying.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm just going to go for 2 minutes. You know what I mean. I'm just going to go for a wee. I don't know why.
Problem.
So I'll be back in a sec.
A realistic version of the movie is definitely doable. Yeah, it could be doable. Yakuza movie with Kiryu in it. Is there? Am I going mad? But the anime is going to be. I think it's the key to the series in some respects, and also you look back at the Epic stuff yesterday and the fact that Shenmue fans or people downloading it broke the servers. Whatever people think of Shenmue as a game or franchise, and we know there's a lot of people who don't like it, there's a lot of people who do like it. It carries weight. It still carries weight, and it will always carry weight. So I think there's a lot of potential in the franchise if it's manipulated and used correctly. Right, I've got Tom and I've got Fukusan, so let's try and get somebody else. Ah, Santa.
Oh,
What do you want? Power. How could you not like Shenmue? Some people, I think, find the first game a little bit too slow in pacing. So I would say to people who want a bit more of an action-packed experience might want to start with the second game. But quite frankly, the world building in one is superb, and the payoff at the end is excellent. So I don't get it, but I can see where some people might come from in terms of the pacing. It can be a bit monotonous in some respects, and I know that the lack of a weight function can hurt it a tiny bit. I'm a Shenmue fan through and through, so. But it's one of those things. I think if you're up for a faster paced experience, you'd start with Shenmue 2. And I do think, actually, yeah, you're right. A generation of gamers is another issue as well. I think we were brought up around different types of games. Now it's all about quick gratification, in my view, or massive open worlds. I don't think it quite fits. Whereas I'd like to see games go inward a bit more, smaller worlds, more detailed, and have that time to just chill time in it. Exactly. You don't mind games that aren't full tilt the entire time, but games these days are in your face the entire time. And I think something like Shenmue has a place for people who want, sort of the peaks and troughs of a normal story. James has come back with his act.
Hello.
We were just talking about how could people not like Shenmue.
I don't know. I can see why they don't, because people don't like Shenmue, do they? There's some people that don't understand why we like it so much. And I suppose we could say that about other things in life, so it's not really, a particular issue. It's just... The other thing is, people not giving it a chance, though, at the end of the day as well. You've got... I don't want to keep bringing him up because it sounds like I'm always having to go at him, but that Jeff Gerstein guy that was, touting that it was a forklift simulator.
Yeah.
For him to say that, he's not got to Shenmue 2. Do you know what I mean? He's stopped before the game potentially picked up in his mind. If he'd experienced Shenmue 2, perhaps he wouldn't be calling it a forklift simulator anymore.
That's part of the issue with the reputation of the game. I think a lot of these people haven't got through to Shenmue 2, where actually I think it is more appealable from a game perspective from a mainstream audience. I think Spags has also hit the nail on the head there, that some people will never like it, never understand it. Hey Frankie Indigo, 23 and love it. Brilliant and welcome. First time
nice
in.
Nice to hear that, as Frankie.
Maybe we're just old cretins and pissed off, but I think...
I don't know, I mean, we always seem to feel like we speak about games and stuff these days, but just taking like games nowadays into consideration, when you compare them to Shenmue, there's nothing quite... Well, there's never ever been anything quite like Shenmue, and just new games to me, I can't get into new games. I don't know what it is about them, whether it's, like you say, it's because of our age and, we're showing it a bit now. Or it's because, I don't know, I don't want to say games aren't good anymore, but because I'm pretty sure some are. It's I don't know. I don't know how to explain that sort of thing, but I can't.
I think the thing with Shenmue is, and I've said this live, I've said this on podcasts, etc. It's one of these games that once it gets you, that's it. That's it. It's whether it gets you or not. And some people will, aren't into that. Fine. I'd always say to people though, give it a go. Like, I wouldn't take a shit on something that I haven't tried. Like,
which is why my point was kind of like what Frank is saying. She's 23.
You've aged on stream watching us. There you go.
But you know what I mean? It's like, it's nice to see that kind of thing, and it's like there's people out there that are willing to give it a try. And sorry. It's just because I'm so used to saying an age of 30 now, just because I'm mid 30s, so it's easy to start an age with 30 these days for myself.
Yeah, me.
But yeah, I do like seeing that though. Mainly because I'm trying to go back. We've been waiting for Shenmue 3 for like 18 years. So it was like, you were 5. Well, we've been waiting for a game to release. Do you know what I mean? It's not even been something that's like even gone into your head at that point, because obviously you're so young, which is a compliment at that point. But then moving on, like you get into the series now. It's good. It's like what I want to do for my daughter as well. I want to introduce her to Shenmue, and perhaps in 20 years' time we're waiting for Shenmue 6, and she's caught up with the story. She's as hooked as we are. It's
once it gets you, it gets you. I do think it has an unfair reputation, followed by people not finishing the first game. I think I tell some people who are into more action-packed games, to start with the second one and just watch like a roundup of the first game on YouTube or something, because in the second game, I'm not going to spoil it because there's people in chat who haven't played the second game yet. Within the first 20 minutes, you're in. The action kicks off. It doesn't mess around. You're into it, and I think there's a difference there in terms of how the first game presents itself to the second game, and the way the story moves and the pacing of it. It's very, very different. And also from a mechanics point of view, it corrects some of the things in the second game that were considered issues in the first. Hey, and just look at chat. Dean over on YouTube considers the Shenmue series to be a new sort of wave of RPGs in the way that Vampire, Masquerade Bloodlines, or Deus Ex Mankind Divided are. Yeah. Do we know the sales figures of Shenmue 1 and 2 before and after the remaster? I believe Shenmue 1 did about 1.2 million sales on Dreamcast. So it was around sort of 10% of the install base had it. I think Shenmue 2, roughly, and these are inaccurate from reading sort of bits and pieces over the years, did around 600,000 to 700,000. It might be less than that. And then it sold about 200k on Xbox. Post HD remasters, we haven't got any accurate sales figures really. There are some floating around from 2018 which would sort of pitch it at around 350k sales. But bearing in mind,
Is that not based on achievements though?
Yeah, and it's not accurate. So there could be more, there could be less. I would argue it's probably more, considering it's been on sale and it's been out for years now. So if they're not touching 500,000 sales, at least I'd be surprised. But I have no accurate figures to back that up at all.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
I'd love to see, like, I don't know if anyone's into crypto or stocks. How you see like a day-by-day thing of like the lines going up and down. I'd love to see something like that, of a day-by-basis series of like figures for Shenmue. So like we've had the epic Shenmue 3's free. I'd love to see what that did to the line of like Shenmue 1 and 2 if the sales boosted by 10k yesterday or whatever.
I guarantee you there will be people out there who are I was going to plunge on the series but haven't bothered, and then that's free on Epic, so they go, I'll pick that up, and they go, well actually there's no point starting at 3, valid point, I'll go and get the originals. Now they may not actually get it on Steam, they might get it from a key reseller for a few quid, but it's still people playing the damn games.
Godfather says, no other video game has stuck with me like Shenmue has, and I've played all sorts of games new and old for many years. Shenmue just has something very special about it. I think everyone in the chat agrees with that.
And so what do they want? I don't know what they want, quite frankly. I mean, making a Shenmue game is expensive. It is open world, it's fully voiced, so doesn't lend itself to high profit margins because of the fan base. In terms of the size of fan base, we're very vocal, but there's not a massive amount of us when you compare it to say Yakuza, which is a lot more mainstream now than it was. But that's not to say it can't be. Being here wants me to hop on Shenmue. Do it. We're going to hop onto some Shenmue 1 in a bit. Looking at
Google search trends for Shenmue was interesting in terms of showing a timeline of how many people were and are interested in it. So, taking you as the crash test dummy then, Frankie, I'm assuming you started with Shenmue 1. So, like, I was going to mention, like, Matt was on about people giving Shenmue 2 a try first, maybe like watching a recap of Shenmue 1 and jumping straight into Shenmue 2 because that's where the action is. But I'd kind of argue against that just because solely, like, I would say Shenmue 1 is my personal favourite in the series. Where that's just nostalgic and it was the first one I played, and, I love the detail and I love the Japan city environments, that sort of stuff. I mean, environments can go a long way for, like, how you perceive a series or, game. I feel like Shenmue 2 went a little bit colourful. That could just be my mindset for like Hong Kong and playing that on the Xbox. I think on Dreamcast, Shenmue 2 wasn't. It was a bit more grey, a bit more dull. In my head, I've got like Shenmue 1 as like quite a grey sort of colour game, which it is. But Shenmue 2 like goes a bit colourful and. I'm not sure what sort of point I'm making there, but what I'm saying is, I would not want someone to sort of skip Shenmue 1 to go straight to Shenmue 2 because I think Shenmue 1 is an amazing game on its own. I started by watching my brother play when I was really young in the early 2000s. Shenmue 2 was definitely my favourite because I was just wandering around it and it was a lot more interesting environments. I love Shenmue 1 too. Shenmue 1 too.
I'll just look at the chat as well before we go into that. Silver's saying husband once called Yakuza Shenmue with guns and bombs. That's quite an interesting analogy, but you're probably right. I mean, what I would say is, before we go back onto the point James is making, actually Shenmue and Yakuza are very different games. Now people go, oh, Yakuza is Shenmue but good. Different game, different atmosphere, different vibe, different pacing. And actually, there's probably more Yakuza fans out there that would give Shenmue a go and probably enjoy it, but for whatever reason don't. And it's a shame because they're basically cousins in the way that they are.
another thing with Yakuza is I feel like it didn't even start to pick up steam until Yakuza 0 or Yakuza,
Ooh!
possibly Yakuza 5.
Speaking of Yakuza,
There you go. Speak of the devil. But you know what I mean? I feel like Yakuza was kind of going through that sort of Shenmue period of like not many people knew about it, not many people were playing the games up until maybe Yakuza 5.
well, you think about Yakuza, it took a massive campaign to get it over to the West, and it was behind Shenmue in that building list.
Exactly, and there's still those Japanese exclusive games that have never even been translated or converted to.
Exactly.
At one point, Yakuza was like, you know, it was another Shenmue in a sense of like it's been hard to market, that no one knows how to market it to a Western audience. And then, for some reason, something just happened and it just clicked with everyone. And now, you know, sales are booming. Yakuza's like a thriving franchise. Who's to say that couldn't have happened with Shenmue if the, you know, Sega had stuck by it and persevered with it?
And who's to say actually it can't happen? I mean, people talking in chat saying people like Yakuza Like a Dragon would certainly love Shenmue. I'd probably agree with that because it's a bit slower paced in terms of the way the story builds. And I don't like turn-based RPG games as a whole, but the story in Like a Dragon's excellent, really, really good. But it went more into that story element than I think sort of Yakuza 1 to 6 do. But it's a shame they didn't stick with Shenmue more. I know it cost a lot of money, but they probably made that back through the Yakuza games on their own because they had the tech, they had the understanding of how to make these open world games.
I'd always argue that the money that they spent on Shenmue, it was done. Do you know what I mean? You've got Shenmue 1, you've got Shenmue 2. If they had continued, it's sort of like the same situation we are now with Shenmue 3. We kind of just want them to, you know, they've built the engines, they've built the systems, they can just make a Shenmue 4. You know, they don't have to do that work. They've done a Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2. They don't have to do that work again. You know, even if it had moved on to the original Xbox, it had Shenmue 2 on the original Xbox. If they were thinking, I don't know if the staff just changed, maybe teams changed, maybe it was hard to get the original teams back together, because we mentioned it before, but you know, Shenmue 3 at one point had confirmed to have been, you know, it was going to be released or whatever. We pointed out at one point, Matt, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, they could have had intentions to, and then it's just difficult to get the team back together again because they split up after a couple of years, and we don't know the ins and outs of it, but you've already got the groundwork to continue a game on the cheap then at some point. You know, you've spent all that money on the engines and the systems and stuff. You know, the third game could have been done a lot cheaper than the first two, at least. I would have assumed.
You look at the failed sort of reboot of Shenmue Online, which they did. They wasted $20 million on that. Could have easily gone to Shenmue 3 and made more money back. I get why they were looking at it, because MMORPGs were sort of starting to take off, but I don't know. There's some odd things happened with Shenmue, but we're in a far better position than we were. Far. We've got a third game, an anime on the way, and merchandise coming out our ears, including Aftershave, which is surprising.
I did think earlier, this is just a random point, but you know, back in the Mega Drive days, say if a game was released, so you've got your Toe Jam and Earls released, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Amongst all the other games that are releasing for the Mega Drive, and obviously we're at the time 4 or 5 years old, so we haven't got any say in where the money goes, what games we're buying. You know, you could say you look at a game on a shelf and ask your mum and dad for a game. I guess similar to kids asking the mum and dad to buy them a game now. But back in those days, gaming wasn't even that popular. So sales of Mega Drive, I know after the Dreamcast, Sega went out of business and focused on the game side of things rather than the hardware side of things. But back in those days, you know, Sega were competing with Nintendo for consoles and games and stuff. I'm wondering what the sales of a game, say like Toe Jam and Earl, was back then, comparatively speaking to these days now, So your Shenmue 3 that's been released, and it's had 63,000 backers, and then whatever we've had since that, whatever the digital sales have been like, whatever the game being free, if that's, I don't know, if Epic, when the game goes free in the Epic Store, Epic giving the publishers money for downloads, or I know Epic have already given Wisenet a chunk of money back in the day.
I don't know how it works. I mean, Epic throw money around like it's water, don't they? I mean, they've got. I think Spags was saying in our staff chat, it was like $3.3 billion revenue this year.
Yeah,
mental. Emo Lots was just saying they could have done better making a Shenmue mobile game. Well, actually, they did. Shenmue City in Japan. But I think it was probably a little bit ahead of the curve at the time. And Shenmue 4 could really shine with the Team Talent. Yeah, exactly. And also, they're not having to rebuild the thing from scratch. It's there. The systems are there. They rebuilt the game essentially. Now they just need to hammer the story, and I think they can and will, especially with the anime team behind it, which looks excellent.
I don't know if anyone understood the point I was making there, but I was just trying to compare the sales of a game, like just a random game like a Toe Jam and Earl, that was a pretty popular franchise for Sega back in the day, to like how well Shenmue's doing now. If you can even make those comparisons, I don't know if you can, but just thinking of like Mega Drive games coming off the shelves as fast as people buying Shenmue 3. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, you also got to consider the time these games were made in.
Back for helping me out. Teach you something useful.
I think.
So do you mean like Toe Jam and Earl selling? Say if they sold 100,000 copies of Toe Jam and Earl back in 1992, that is a very successful game.
I think.
But these days, 100,000 copies is a failure.
Yeah,
is that what you mean?
I would agree, because it's exactly what I mean. When you think back to when the Mega Drive was out, gaming wasn't really mainstream. It got mainstream eventually, and it started peaking up with the Mega Drive and the SNES and everything else. But 100,000 copies on a Mega Drive at the time, bearing in mind gaming wasn't mainstream, would have been considered relatively successful. Whereas now, 100,000 copies in the industry as the size that it is considered a niche market.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to how much it costs to make these games and whether it's profitable or not. But these big sort of games are all very, very similar in the way they present themselves. Open world, massive, millions spent on it. But they're very, very similar. I think creativity at that top level of gaming, which we had growing up, it's diminished quite a lot, personally, for me.
Quit your babbling and punch.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You call that a
I get what you're
punch?
saying as well, Spags. Smaller teams. They've got like a bigger profit margin, haven't they?
I just crushed your
They're not paying the
There's
staff as
more
much
to
as
master.
a team of like 100
Evasion
people.
without getting hit is an art
They've got to
in
make
itself.
10 times as much, realistically,
Save the game.
these days.
Right. I'm going to stop this game because we're coming up to 10 past 10.
I'll link it again then, guys. So what we've just been playing there was a fun game made by Shanson,
And I'm going to...
who's been in the chat there. Really good fun game, actually. And as you've seen, as we've been going through that, there's been multiple choices in terms of dialogue. So there's like different paths that you can take. Really good game to play around the Christmas period.
Right, I'm going to now drop into Shenmue 1. Big things upcoming, can't see. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Shenmue is in a really good position from a standpoint of the anime, let alone anything else. I enjoyed that, son, actually. I'm going to probably sit and... I've got a week off work soon, so I'm going to sit and finish it, I think. Or I could even hold it back for another stream and finish it off.
That would be cool. I'd like to see that.
But we're now going into Shenmue 1. and I have. Just got to find my save.
Whet the appetite, that has.
Yeah. I've now got here a Christmas Eve save. So for people who haven't been watching us before, play Shenmue 1. This is on PC. It is modded, so I've got audio restoration, which corrects some of the audio issues from the re-releases. You can also see that I've got the texture pack by Streamer 2K, so I've sort of got HD textures running around as well.
And widescreen sort of stuff, yeah?
Yeah, widescreen mod as well. And we're snowing as well.
Lovely stuff.
I love the snow.
Perfect. Is this this is just the bog standard weather, yeah? It's not like the real weather, yeah.
Bog standard
so
weather.
I think you'll get snow tomorrow as well then.
Yeah. So I'm going to play a couple of days in game.
So this is Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. So we're going to explore the snow.
I had a lot of fun, you know. I did, obviously, for the episode of the show that's coming up on Monday. If you don't listen or... Well, if you want to watch the video side of things that I'm talking about now, you want to wait till Tuesday to watch it on the Shenmue Dojo YouTube channel. But the next episode of the show, I actually went through New Year's Day, seeing, you know, the women in the kimonos and that sort of stuff, pointing those things out as we're talking about these things on the podcast episode. Christmas, even show a bit of footage of spring with the cherry blossom tree. I just had a lot of fun seeing that sort of stuff again, because obviously when you think of Shenmue, you're just playing for the game, playing for the story. Whereas a lot of like this is like details, date dependent. This is what I was getting as well, man, this cutscene. So I think this must be like what happens around Christmas.
Yeah, I forget this stuff, you know, because when I play it through, I don't... Yeah, I just play
That's the thing. That's what I'm on about. You don't... Typically, these days, we've played Shenmue that much that when you decide to play Shenmue again, you sort of clear it in about 20 days in-game time, don't you? So say 29th of November or whatever. You're done kind of like just before Christmas kicks in.
Yeah. I forget this.
Whereas like the first time you play Shenmue, and you do take your time, as you're discovering, you just encounter these scenes, and it's that's the beauty of the first game, in my opinion, that you get these encounters naturally. And then the second time you play through the game, you see different things because the weather's changed on a specific day. It needed to be like a clear day, a sunny day, for a cutscene to occur, or you walk down a different part of the town at a different time. So like I mentioned earlier, like the anarchy scene behind the apartment complex, that's very specific. That's like after 7 PM on a specific part of the story. So just second, third playthroughs, 4 playthroughs, you start encountering scenes that you didn't see the first time. And it was even better back in the day when you didn't have YouTube, you didn't have ways of finding out these secrets within these games. You just discovered them naturally. I notice you've got the coat machine there as well, mate.
Yeah, it's part of the texture reskin that the streamer did. But it's crazy because there's so much stuff you can... No Free to Grave. No, unfortunately not. There is so much you can miss in these games. Like, if you rush it, there's so much you can miss. And actually, Shenmue 3, in some respects, while it doesn't have necessarily the cutscenes that you miss in quantity, if you don't talk to the villagers, especially in Bailu Village, you don't talk to Shenhua in Bailu Village, you miss out on so much dialogue and so much sort of context around what's going on.
That's the thing, really, and that is the beauty of Shenmue. Like, even though we've played these games over and over and over again for the last 20 years, I'd still struggle to be able to, off the top of my head, tell you how to trigger certain cutscenes. And like you're saying, like in Shenmue 3 with all the dialogue options and stuff like that, these dialogue choices and dialogue text and stuff that we still haven't personally discovered. Like, just throw a throw away lines from certain characters and NPCs and stuff. You know, it's like Blue Moo level. If you watch Blue Moo's videos on YouTube, how he goes around talking to people, random dialogue and this sort of stuff. There's like conversation in the game that is like very specific to a specific point in the story, specific time of day. You can't even begin to remember this sort of stuff if you were to tell someone specifically when something happens. Do you know what I mean? That's what keeps Shenmue so fresh, even today after 20 years.
Absolutely mental how much that was packed into these games back in the day. Dean, yeah,
exactly.
I just noticed a comment about the watch, so I thought I'd just show you. Yeah, it's got the watch in here as well.
And Xbox as well. Yeah.
Some of the licenses were changed for the re-releases. Obviously, they didn't hold licenses anymore. So,
have you got the Glenfiddich whiskey?
I don't
mod?
know. I'd have to go in. Well, it might be part of the textures. I'd have to go into a bar and find out. They're all shut.
That's true.
Oh, I can't go to the arcade.
That's the thing. I mean, for anyone that's in the chat that's not aware, coming up in the new year, Titch Life, she was in the chat earlier. I don't know if she's still in the chat, but she's going to be streaming for the dojo. And I would love for her to see some of the stuff that maybe she's not seen before. There she is, yeah. So she's still in the chat. Because I'd mentioned to her, I would love to make a list of like all the hidden cutscenes, all the Easter eggs and that sort of stuff that we know we've encountered. That perhaps, I think she said that she's never done the duck race before. So I think that's going to be amazing to see her initial reactions to getting the duck race, maybe getting Fang Mei's birthday. Those sort of cutscenes that, you know, they're really hard to get, really very specific. I'd love to make a list for her, but I was thinking even then, I was like, I know I'm going to miss stuff off the list. Because there's that many hidden cutscenes and stuff.
You do like,
sorry, Matt.
You do the Chowan sign, for example. There's hidden fights and things that you can miss. There's loads of it.
Yeah, there's like probably like 8 different Chowan sign cutscenes, depending on where you are. I mean, there's a Chowan sign thing that you can do in the. I'm gonna forget this. Is it the blue something back in Aberdeen?
Oh yeah.
You know where you go up the staircase, that there's like a bar in the second floor of that staircase. Blue. Someone in the chat might know what I'm on about. Blue something.
Garden.
Blue Sky Gardens. Yeah. And there's a cutscene there, but in order to get that, you'd need to have met Fang Mei and Eileen. And then there's a Chowan sign there, where there's a cutscene with Fang Mei and Eileen having a cup of tea together or something like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's
crazy.
Fucking crazy.
The amount of branching paths and detail in there. You can see where the money went on the games, put it that way. Oh shit. Doing alright here so far.
If anyone wants to listen to out of the podcasts, I don't know if anyone's listened to all of the podcasts, but I would say episode 6, the one where we had Peter on.
That's a good one.
We talk a lot about, it's a really good one. But I remember him talking about like these specific scenes and stuff that, you know, we've encountered, people don't encounter and stuff like that. I've instantly forgot what I was on about.
Let
me try and think what I was on about.
Paths, people you talk to, and the sort of depth and range that's in the game. It's crazy. Oh. That means I'm getting the triples now. Absolutely roasting in my office. PC's pumping out.
Is it, man?
Yeah, it is.
I'm sat here with a fucking Wally hat on. In a Christmas jumper.
So salvage this a little bit because this is going wrong quickly.
So annoying, I forgot what I was on about then.
Watch episode 6 of our podcast or listen to it, it's good.
That's a good one. It's a big one. It's about 3 hours off. Half an hour.
Hey, Save, any new on the anime? 2022. And the trailer obviously was out in October if you haven't seen it already. Merry
Hey,
Christmas,
Paddy.
How's it
Merry
going?
Christmas, dude. You got your darts board set up yet, Paddy? You can sort of see mine there. There you go.
Oh, it's bloody warm in here now.
You can imagine how much a lot of people missed playing through the Shenmue games. You really have to take your time and savor the game. So much to offer and take in. That's another thing. I mean, people these days, they kind of just plow through a game, don't they?
They do. Quite a lot.
They don't even know. Like, I know we know that these hidden cutscenes and stuff. A lot of people play through, or are going to play through Shenmue 1 and 2, and not even realise that these hidden cutscenes. Maybe they don't even care that these hidden cutscenes. Maybe these games we've played, you know, like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, that this stuff that's hidden away. It depends how invested you are in the particular game, the particular series, as to if you're that bothered about going back and trying to find that stuff. But I do think something about Shenmue encourages repeat playthroughs.
It does. It just does it in a very different way, doesn't it? Because you haven't got a new game plus or anything. It's sort of bollocks. It's more if you know there's other things to discover. It sort of encourages you to come back. But if you don't know it's there, then I can see how the replayability is lost a little bit.
Yeah. I'm trying to get in the mindset of like a new player in 2021.
Am I wearing the cologne? I actually am. I tried it. I did a
matters, yeah.
And it actually smells really good. I'm genuinely shocked.
It just stinks of booze and fags.
Yeah. And sweat.
Sweat. Not yet, mate. I'm on holiday tomorrow, but I'll set it up when I get back in Jan. Where are you going again, Paddy? You're going somewhere, aren't you? Even though it's on lockdown.
You do have to be invested in Shenmue, very much so, I think, to sort of
look
through all these cutscenes and things.
I do wonder if, like, a new player to Shenmue is, as soon as they finish with Shenmue 1 or as soon as they finish with Shenmue 2, they're even considering replaying the game. I know, like, back in the day on the Dreamcast and stuff, I'd just keep replaying it over and over and over again. Even if I had other games, I'd still want to play Shenmue again. But I just wonder if it's lost some of that stuff. Oh, multi-A.
Ethan, one thing you love about Shenmue 2 is Dolnio catching you using automatic fail state. Yeah, there's different paths in Shenmue 2. It's very clever. Oh, from a first timer as well. Excellent.
That was something that Peter was on about actually in that podcast. I don't think that's what I was on about when I forgot. But it was on about like the Wong QTs at the start of Shenmue 2. There must be about 6 branching paths.
Yeah, there must be.
That, you know, typically, I mean, I'm not that bad at QTEs, so I probably maybe completed the Wong chase first time or second time, but you could fail it about 6 times, and there's like different things that happen along those points. And again, that's just attention to detail that for a player that might not be as good as QTEs, they're going to see different fail states, see different scenes. Go back to what's it called, that restaurant, Fortune Bakery or something like that. No, Fortune. What's it called? Is it Fortune Eatery? That could be it.
Yeah.
They're going to go back there, and then they're going to have a fight with Sam and Larry.
Yeah.
And you can smash tables up and stuff like that in that thing. And then after that fight, there's even another conversation with the lady that runs the Fortune's Eatery, where Ryo's saying, you know, I'm sorry for, you know, smashing up the place earlier. Yeah. Fuck me. You know, it's that crazy that there's stuff there that if you're just good at QTEs, you complete the Wong chase first time, you'd never even know that there's like 6 layers to that. If you fail at a certain point, you've got to try and find Wong again. If you fail it again, like I say, you've got to beat Sam and Larry up in the Fortune's Eatery. If you fail that, there's like another path. It's stupid.
It's mental. Ethan, just a question if you're still in chat. When or how did you find the Shenmue games? How did you discover them as a newcomer? I'm always interested to find how people find out about it in
me too, mate.
2021. Is that 50?
How are you with Shenmue 3's QTs, Jim? At first, man, I don't know if it was because, like, if I was playing on the PS4, I did feel like there was, like, input delay.
They're hard.
We did speak about this, the same episode. I keep going about that episode 6. Yeah. On the PS4, I felt like I was failing even though I was pressing the right button. Say, like, the duck catching. So I would say I was awful at QTs in Shenmue 3. But then I've since played it again on the PC on... Was it on Epic? Might have been on Steam. And I don't know, I did really well. So I don't know if that's because I'm expecting or anticipating a QT occurring, or I don't know if I downloaded a patch or it's just a bit tighter on the PC, whereby you press a button and it instantly recognises the button. I don't know, man. I didn't really have a problem with the QTs.
Damn.
The last playthrough.
But I think for a first playthrough, they were tough. They were really tough. I can see why.
I do feel like wasn't there a patch or an update that made them a little bit better?
They were a tiny bit better, but I do think the windows on them were really tight. I mean, but then there's some really funny fail states in them. So maybe it was intentional, but...
It's hard to know. I mean, you'd think they'd... No one ever complained about QTs in the first 2 games, so going off that basis, you think they just reuse the same, whatever the
sort of same timing
limit. Yeah. You think
I don't know. It's strange.
Unless they thought, you don't know what's going through their heads. They could be thinking like, this is Shenmue 3, so Ryo's skills should be heightened or something. So instead of it being like a 3-second window, it needs to be a 2-second window now, because you know what I mean? It could be like they're trying to show that Ryo's achieved something. I don't know. Over the first 2 games, he should have heightened skills.
Just looking at the chat again. Ethan, my friend played it for the first time too this year. Convinced me to play. Dreamcast back and forth these games. Now we're both huge fans. Brilliant.
That's good to hear, Ethan. Cheers, man.
And then Yanni, when the 1-2 remaster came out, there were many people on Twitch playing it for the first time and mentioned they want to complete the games before Shenmue 3 comes out. The streamers varied in opinion when playing through the first game first, but the majority of them told me the game clicked for them around the harbour. Some of them mentioned they were going to go back to play it to fill the notebook more and get other cutscenes. It's interesting, isn't it? Once it clicks for you, I think you have that desire to see what else is there. It's just getting over that initial, I think, not clunkiness, but that initial sort of pacing of the game. Once it gets going, Shenmue 1, it does pick up, especially towards the end.
It's easy for us to say as well, because we've had that experience, haven't we? So, the first time you play Shenmue ourselves was like really confusing. You didn't know where to go, you didn't know who to speak to. Even if they pointed out a location, say if they point at a location, we'd be like, we still don't really know what they were pointing at, because everything's fresh and new. So you can see that from a new player's perspective. It's just because we played it for 20 years, when we see someone new playing it and they don't know where they're going, it can seem a bit frustrating, can't it? Because it's like, how do you not know what they're pointing at there? These literally pointed at a building there, but we've all been through that, haven't we?
Like in these games, because you obviously haven't got a map, so you have to look around here. I mean, Shenmue 2, you get like a bit of the green map HUD, but you actually have to like take an active look. Go, right, where am I? What do I look for? And it's very different to games nowadays, which I think handholds you quite a lot. Shenmue doesn't do that, because if it did, I think it'd lose some of its charm.
But I've seen people playing the original Shenmue and they just run past those maps and they're like, where do I go? Where do I go? And they just like run past a map. It's like you could have looked at that map. And then I've seen some people playing the game and they haven't really got to grips with the left trigger. So they'll be looking at the map and not realising that you can actually zoom and lock onto it. Or maybe they'll be standing a little bit too close to it and Rio doesn't auto lock onto it. There's those sort of things that a new player to Shenmue, if they try something out and it doesn't work the first time they try it, they think they can't do it. They never think to try it again. Yeah, exactly. Sonic's Shenmue, you know, that was part of the game back in the day, getting lost, wasn't it? That's
how you found out what
you had to discover. Yeah. But these days you can't really have that concept. I do see. And I do think that's probably why we got Shenmue 3 as it is, and that's why we've got Yu Suzuki saying these things for Shenmue 4, where he wants to like create waypoints and that sort of stuff. He's probably he's been hearing from game developers, say like Ryan Payton, people that are making modern day games, where you know they do really have to seriously consider waypoints. For this modern generation of gamer, they have to. I mean, even though when we hear that, we're like, that doesn't belong in Shenmue. You know, Shenmue is about exploring, finding things out for yourself. But for the simple fact that Shenmue's not, it is a niche series. It's not a very money generating series. They have kind of got to make these considerations when they're making a new game. Because they've got to kind of cater it to an audience that is going to buy the game, want to play the game, because ultimately we still need a Shenmue 5 and a 6 or whatever to finish the game. If they're trying to really focus on the Shenmue fans and what we want, that is the fan base from back in the day. It's not going to make an income or enough to make another game, so they do kind of have to try these modern tactics as much as we don't want them to. They're kind of forced into it.
If they do with Shenmue 4, I'd want a Shenmue mode for us and a more modern mode for the people who need it or want it.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that is a very good idea. So the default is the I can't even say the word, but the millennial mode or whatever the word is that defines a new gamer, and then an old school mode for us where it's like there's no maps, there's no waypoints. Well, there is maps, but it's like maps just they're still there where you have to physically look at a map to find out where you are.
Like,
Zima mode.
All
Exactly.
you need to do is just have that at the start of the game and go what mode do you want? Strictly Sega Europe, welcome. Are we smoking gold and tobacco right now? I am, but I would say it doesn't smell of tobacco and gold. That's the funny thing. It's really good though. It's really, really good. I was really, really genuinely impressed with it.
I wonder if that's a marketing thing as well, like tobacco and gold. Is that like by saying the word tobacco, are they getting more sales?
I don't know. I could say I was pleasantly surprised with the quality of it, actually.
So what's come after millennials then, Spags? Is that what you're saying? Zoomer? Is that the new term Zoomer? So I'm a millennial, yeah? Because I was... Does that mean because I was part of before the millennium?
Gen Z.
So I'm a millennial.
Zoomers aren't even new. Christ, how out of touch are we?
Jesus. Gen Alpha.
Christ.
Who comes up with these terms? Seriously.
thanks Sonic for watching the unboxing again. Good one to do. Like I said, I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I did not go in with super high expectations and actually was shocked.
Okay, millennials are 1981 to 1996.
Okay, so we're definitely in that bracket then.
Okay. That's the thing, like, I don't know who makes these brackets, these words up. Millennials.
I want to get to Christmas Day if we can.
Gen Alpha.
I'll do this story chasing. Ah, you bugger. Yeah,
I do wonder though, Shenson, if people that were born like 20 years before us are saying the same thing about the 60s and 70s. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, we had the best of both worlds. Technology was growing up, but we still went outside and did things.
Yeah. We've seen both sides of the world, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wow. Having said that, you go back bloody millions of years and we, dinosaurs. I don't know. Cavemans.
余ったコインはこちらでお預かりしますよ。じゃあお願いします。
Oh, we're doing alright since it's 10:30.
ありがとうございました。
I love this music at Christmas.
What I do find fascinating, and this is probably just me, but I tend to think like a lot about things that have come before humans and that sort of stuff. But when you look into like stuff like dinosaurs, these dinosaur types that were millions of years between themselves. So you're just thinking about dinosaurs as a race, for example, like humans. These dinosaurs that were extinct millions of years before other dinosaurs, which like is mental to me. So when you think on a scale of like us growing up around this time and like our life revolves around a game called Shenmue, that just seems mental to me that like someone's made a game within our lifespan that has like touched and changed our lives drastically enough that we're here where we are today. And these dinosaurs that were like millions of years apart from a dinosaur and we're just like in this like little nook and cranny here, our life is Shenmue, and that was a game that was made within a 20-year lifespan, which is crazy. I know that's like art. This is like an piece of art, Shenmue. And that's literally just for us. And people that were born 50 years ago, they've already died. They've never got to experience this. People that 50 years from now weren't around when we were around. So again, they're never going to experience this. And just the way that the earth is, the world is, this is fucking stupid. Sorry, it's probably because I'm a bit drunk, but yeah, this is deep retro. But like how old things are, and then there's like this little nugget of 20 years where one bloke has come up with a storyline of Shenmue, and within those 20 years it's like touched 1 million people. And I just think that's nuts on the grand scheme of things. And this is just Earth, you've got all these other planets and all these other solar systems and stuff. Some blokes made Shenmue on this like, I don't know. Is that blowing your mind a little bit? And I don't know, this is another thing, like Twitch here, it's saying with these 10 viewers, so these 10 specific viewers are watching me and Matt play that said game. Once this is gone, maybe another couple of hundred people might stumble across the stream, but this is very, very specific to a certain audience amongst that whole grand I don't know,
男に
mate.
逆らえる者はいなくなる。早く鏡を見つけ出すんだ。
Shit, son.
奴らが
Dinosaurs for Shenmue 4.
Yeah, do it. Do it. The final boss is a T-Rex.
To be fair, mate, it could be looking at that Shenmue Online trailer.
Which is bloody could.
Dean has always found it ironic that the games made such an impact on me and it was also set in the year I was born. Yes. Sort of same year, 1987. Early on, January.
T-Rex with a laser on his head.
It's weird. It's like this game is made for us, isn't it? Like you're saying there, how the game takes place in 1986, 87. It like just fits our age and everything to a T. It's weird. I don't know. Obviously, Yu Suzuki's like 60. What is he now? 66 or something?
Yeah, he's in his mid-60s now.
And obviously, he's the guy, the guru behind 63. Okay. But you know, I don't know. He's made this game, and we're playing his brain in a sense, aren't we? Because he's come up with this story. He's come up with these concepts and stuff on his journeys through China and stuff like that. And yeah, it's so compelling for our era.
It's the right time in your formative years as well.
With the Dreamcast, it was like just that becoming of age sort of game. You're moving from kids games to adult games, and this is like kind of in the middle. It's not like a GTA like go around kill everyone, but it's not you know whatever a kids game was back then. I can't even think. I was going to say Sonic, but I still play Sonic, so
I play a lot. I still play Sonic, in fairness. Not as much as I used to.
I mean, the atmosphere of the games is what it does. Is what does it? You know the areas like the back of your hand. Yeah, I know what you mean, Michael. Which we do. Like even Shenmue 3, I'm starting to get that I know it like the back of my hand sort of thing now after a couple of playthroughs. And I think that's what it took back in the day. I think you needed to play the original Shenmue at least more than once for it to really click. What did Peter Moore say, Spags? Like it was released at the right time. Okay. Yeah. I suppose Sega was like very, like you think of like your Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed character lineup. It is all like mascot based, you know, that sort of, you know, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and then you've got your Alex Kidd, you've got your ToeJam and Earl, like I said earlier, you've got your Ooh La La, Jet Set Radio characters. Yeah, Shenmue's a bit more of a mature compared to those sort of things. I would say, possibly. I suppose Streets of Rage possibly was a bit more mature back in those days.
Yeah, it was. It was also very arcadey, wasn't it, as well, in terms of the way it sort of presented itself.
That was funny. You said that quite well. You know, the airport, what the airport guy said to Peter Moore. Made me laugh. You're the prick that... What did he say?
You're the I think it's the arsehole sold Shenmue to
The
Microsoft
arsehole.
or something like
Yeah.
that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I
He's
know
actually in the Shenmue documentary, isn't he? Peter Moore.
He makes an appearance in the Gamer's Journey documentary, I think.
We've still got that to come, guys. If you think about that, it's another thing that we're still waiting on.
Forgotten about that. That Kickstarter is nearing its conclusion in terms of stuff shipping. They are in the middle, I think, or about to press the discs for the Kickstarter backers.
That's true, Yanni. I know what you're saying. It's one of my fears, to be honest, and that's probably typical of, I don't want to say my luck or whatever, but that is kind of like, it is a worry, that is, that Yu Suzuki might not be around to finish the saga, the rate it's going anyway, you know, if you've got to wait 15 years between games, but
We just freeze him in carbonite.
yeah, when we've got the budget, we thaw him out.
Yeah. Then you put him back.
Put him back. Every time he's made a game, put him back. Get that epic money and thaw him again. But then you say this, and like personally, I'd love to live to 100. You know, 60, 63, I think someone said Yu Suzuki was. I always trying to compare stuff like my age, and then like, if I was to half my age and this sort of stuff, thinking like, where people are at in their lives. So like Yu Suzuki's 63, okay, so he's 29 years older than I am, but I'm 34, so 29, I've lived past 29 years, if that makes sense. So I've lived 5 years longer than that period that Yu Suzuki's ahead of me. So I kind of can see how that feels in terms of age. So when I was 5 to how I am now is the difference between myself and Yu Suzuki. So when I'm Yu Suzuki in that length of time period, I would hope from, you know, where I'm at now at 34, I would hope that I would live longer than 63, if that makes sense. I would hope that I would live another 34 years at least, if that makes any sense. Which, if it does, you know, that's another 2 games at least, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon you'll get it. I'm thinking, what? 63. You want really needs to be making Shenmue 4 in the next couple of years, I think, and 5.
I'm being a bit philosophical tonight. Philosophical tonight. But yeah, I agree with what Matt's saying there. You know, you kind of need... Most people retire at 65, right? So if he's 63, and we've only just added Shenmue 3, he's not going to retire at 65, because that would be daft. Because we still need 2 or 3 games, yeah? What do you think of, like, his... Yeah, Shanson says he's never going to retire, but he is human at the end of the day, so... He could turn around and say, I'm retiring today. Do you know what I mean? We are in that stage now where he does need to crank these last 3 or 4 games out.
Will we go by the DVD of the Shenmue documentary? I don't know is the honest answer, because they're working out distribution, etc. And I think there's some legal issues around that as well. So you'll have to watch this space.
And I'd hopefully want to see that on a Netflix, to be fair.
That'd be quality if it was on there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Chanson. I think we spoke about this loads, so it's like we're just rehashing the same sort of shit, but I think WiseNet are still a thing. They're still working on something. They're still paying the bills. They're still keeping the lights on.
Yeah, they're categorically
and
something.
The company is literally Yu Suzuki Net, so something's happening.
先生に頼まれてたもの
Whether it's Shenmue 4 or not. Like you say, Yu Suzuki doesn't settle on his laurels, does he? He keeps going.
そうだ大切なものだからここに
And we've got the anime. You know, if anyone ever comes to and says, you know, what's going on with Shenmue 4, I don't think you can even question that Shenmue 4 is not happening or not even a thing, because we're still waiting on the anime, and that's such a massive thing in the grand scheme of things, and that, you know, how a new audience takes to the anime determines a Shenmue 4, so you can't talk about Shenmue 4 until we've got past the anime, I don't think.
伺っております
Oh, thanks Yaki for the follow. See that pop up?
親父
And like Abdullah says, Shenmue is Yu Suzuki's dream.
立つことがあれば
When you read the credits at the end of Shenmue 3, you know full well he's got every intention of trying to get a Shenmue 4
していただきましたので
complete.
何か他にも預けていませんでしたか
Sure, it's common knowledge, but why did Yu Suzuki leave Sega? Michael says.
宝鏡という鏡とか
I mean, I think Sega not necessarily sacked him, but they just weren't really utilising his
ありませんな
そうで
his
すか
potential anymore. You know, there was that thing where he went to he created his own studio, didn't he, called Digital Rex at one point.
And I mean, he did other work at Sega. I mean, he worked on Virtua Fighter 4. He did the Outrun games. I think he was involved in on the Xbox. He did other bits of work, but I think eventually, he sort of got moved upstairs, for want of a better term. Did his own studio, and then just sort of left, quietly left. I mean, he's been gone from Sega a long, long time now.
I do feel like perhaps he got in that sort of mindset that they weren't really asking him to do anything. I don't know. I can't really think what would have been going on at those times. I think he worked on Virtua Fighter 4 a little bit, right?
Yeah, he did work on Virtua Fighter 4, but I think beyond that, he hasn't touched a Virtua Fighter game since. I know Yanni's right in saying that he'd love to do a VF6. I think he'd probably be on board as a probably an advisor or something to that. But I'd imagine.
Do we know if he was in 5?
I don't think he had much to do with 5.
Okay.
I might be wrong. Someone in chat might be able to talk to me about that. Virtua Fighter 4 made all the money back from Shenmue 1 and 2 and sold really well. Reynolds will have played Shenmue at Christmas, exactly. Don't know what Sega's beef
Which
was.
is it's interesting to read that actually, Shanson, because Virtua Fighter 4 was exclusive to PS3, wasn't it?
PS2.
As far as I'm aware. PS2 was it?
And then, I mean, it did really well. Good game, solid game. I think at Sega, and this is from sort of speaking to people I've interviewed, I think Shenmue's development has, I don't know, left scars on people at Sega that they don't like. And then the fact that it obviously didn't make its money back, I think they just, any excuse, certainly for Japan, not to sort of pick it up. Because Europe have been quite supportive of it. I mean, a lot of the merch we get, say Europe pushing that. But in respect,
did they take that into consideration? So say like they've released this music box, they've released this clone, they've released this Shenmue Duck. Is that still in the consideration of the original expense of Shenmue?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I think it's probably quite a short-sighted viewpoint, actually, of a music box or Shenmue merch. They look at it and go, does Shenmue merch sell? Alright, we'll do it. And then it makes a profit, and that's it. I don't think they see it in the wider context of that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, so they're not like keeping tabs on it and they're like, oh shit, that sale of like that clone, Shenmue's £1 up now overall. Going all the way back to 1998 or whatever.
これを受け取った
They should grow up and go for it. Yeah. Anyone made Shenmue 1 Streets in VR?
親父の
Yes, well, they did in Dreams. Actually, I played it earlier. Strictly Sega Europe had a good go.
見覚えないかな例えば
Shenmue in Dreams
この模様と
virtual
か
reality.
Yeah, I was going to link it, but I don't think there was a link. You just buy the game Dreams for the PS4 and then just search Shenmue. Yeah.
そうだな。確か
I
仏
want
間
to
に
get
いました
Christmas
けど。
Day, but I'm also
Wakata.
wary of the time.
Well, we're nearly there, aren't we? You can go to sleep now.
Nearly there. I think I'll talk.
Oh, is it 8? I think it's 8 o'clock, isn't
talk
it?
to Ine-san, which will probably take it to the point.
Yeah, that's another thing. Abdullah, does Yu Suzuki still make any money every time Shenmue 1 and 2 sells? I'm sure it must have some
骨董屋でこれを。
cut,
その唾は
possibly.
イネさん、
I'd be
何か知っ
surprised
てるのか。
雪輪に
because it's
二
the
つ
same
星
like as
に
if you make
一つ
music
剣
as a musician
葉
for a
月家の
music.
もんどころでございます。
Yeah.
Wow, I say music
お
label.
探し物に
If you
何
work
か
for
関
a
係があ
game
るの
company,
で
you
は
produce music for them.
旦那様が
You
導
sign the
いて
rights
くだ
over
さ
to
って
the
いる
music,
ように
therefore
思
you
い
get
ます。
paid for your job, but you don't get paid any royalties. I think it'd be a similar situation with making games generally, but there could be some exceptions.
Yeah, I don't know if that like that. I know what you're saying, but does that work with Shenmue? Because Yu Suzuki's literally, this is his idea, this is his concept, and
Well-
he supposedly, or he did own the license, didn't he?
He borrowed it off of
To
Sega.
make Shenmue
didn't he?
3?
He borrowed it,
Yeah,
so
so-
I would say that Sega own the Shenmue IP and they own all of the source material. That's categoric. I think they've
Yeah.
probably got a good relationship where he can use it because obviously he's paid for the IP, etc., to use it.
But in a sense, for him making a Shenmue 3, and like we just had yesterday, how Shenmue was free on Epic for 24 hours. Ultimately, that is going to generate sales of Shenmue 1 and 2. So
Well, absolutely will.
yeah, so I mean, you'd think it's got to make a little bit of money out of that as well, right?
There'd be something, surely. I mean, even if Epic just said to Deep Silver or whatever, can we buy like 100 copies or whatever, there might be something.
I think it's the other way around, Michael. Bizarrely. Oops.
I think
See,
it's
it's just-
the other way around.
Yeah. And this is something that I've spoke about with Titch in her streams when she was playing Crazy Taxi. What's going on my fucking PC?
Oh yeah, because a
Just
lot
gone
of
into sleep
Crazy
mode.
Taxi licenses disappeared, didn't they? So
Yeah.
right, what time are we?
Okay, it's come on.
Yeah, we're getting.
So say like your KFCs and McDonald's and stuff in Crazy Taxi. That is a reason why Sega can't really re-release Crazy Taxi, in a sense, because all those original properties and licenses and stuff,
and
it wasn't like,
And
yeah,
the music as well. You look at the Offspring and stuff like that. They had to change all the music
Yeah.
for the HD stuff, which is a shame. Here's a question.
which is it's weird, you know what I mean? You think if Crazy Taxi has those iconic tracks, Offspring and Bad Religion, people are going to hear them and want to go out of the way to listen to their music.
You'd think so, and
You
it's
know,
good
you'd think
stuff.
it'd be a good thing, wouldn't you? Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And
But it works the other way around, where
Game.
Sega have to pay the Offspring to get their music back in Crazy Taxi. So we know how famous these bands are now. The fees are like probably,
Probably astronomical.
astronomical, aren't they? So there's no real reason to pay the Offspring that much money to get the music back in the game. So they end up going with like an indie sort of band that sounds a bit similar,
Or some sort of in-house
which is what we got.
band
Yeah.
that don't quite sound as good.
Which is a shame, because then that kind of spoils the selling point of the re-release. But then Sega can't afford to get those licenses to make the re-release perfect.
Or are not willing to.
Yeah. And that's the same with Shenmue, with the Zippo lighters and that sort of stuff, with Timex.
It's a shame. Let's have a look at the chat before we finish off. Oh, excuse me.
So you're in Christmas Day now, are you?
I mean, Christmas Day, we're going to stop it here, I think, because I'm struggling.
Yeah.
massively. I
And
think
nothing really changes anyway.
No, I mean you get the Nozomi cutscene, but I'm been ill this week, and I think I need a rest.
That might even be Boxing Day anyway.
Might even be
Do you know what I mean?
Boxing
Like
Day, in
after Christmas
fairness,
Day.
yeah. Just look at the chat for the sort of final round off. Here's a question: would you rather have had no DLC for Shenmue 3 or the money put into the main game? I mean, quite frankly, a lot of the DLC, I think, was cut content from the main game anyway. So I don't.
Yeah, I think that was a deep silver.
Yeah. Big Merry Cruise, I'd take it or leave it. Battle Rally, on the other hand, I think was an excellent idea. The story DLC was 100% cut content. Definitely cut content. And we know there was other content in the game that didn't make it. But yeah, it's interesting.
It's crazy.
If it helped make money, great. But I'm not a fan of DLC anyway.
DLC, yeah, it was good. I think it was really good in Shenmue 3. Like you say, the Battle Rally, the Bailu Hunt. Well, all the pieces of DLC for Shenmue 3 was, it was really good. I suppose at least we're getting that sort of final product with the limited run games release of the complete edition.
We are.
So everything is on the disc, at least. Feels like you've got a complete game.
And it's going to be good, I think, as well. And all the merch that's coming with it, it's going to be really cool. I really like the idea.
Shenzo, I know what you mean. I mean, I do feel like that's kind of like what Cedric is. He's a fan at heart, and he's got a shit ton of money by the looks of it, if he's living in Monaco anyway.
And he just... Doesn't he just? He's loads.
I just even think like a millionaire, you still got to like be a bit tight with your money, aren't you?
Wow, living in Monaco, I remember getting off that bus thinking I look like an absolute peasant.
I do think if you won the Euro Millions and you had like 100 and whatever million,
I'd do it.
It's easy to say. It is easy to say, like you'd give Usagi whatever he needs for Shenmue 4, but I don't know. I mean, I think we definitely would, but if you had that amount of money, would it change as a person that you'd think like, that's a lot of money still? I don't know.
Right. I think on that bombshell, we need Vince McMahon. I'll tell you what, you need to get Tim Sweeney from Epic. He'll do it. They're just throwing money at it. But there you go. Right, I'm going to call things there as I'm starting to struggle a little bit with obviously being like jab.
You've done well. Yeah, I think you've done well, man. You've played all those different games and you've focused on them as well. I've just sat here chatting and stuff, but you've actually focused on the games, so I think you've done well, Matt.
What remains for me to say is thank you to everybody who's joined in tonight. Thank you to the raiders that popped in. Always appreciated, and I am going to raid another channel in a bit, so do stick around if you want to carry on watching some Shenmue. I will find a Shenmue channel that someone is streaming.
That's a good idea.
Thank you everybody for taking in the content that James and I have been putting in over the last 18 months, year. We do it all in our spare time. We do it because we enjoy it, but the fact that you guys pick it up, watch it, enjoy it, that means the world for us.
I honestly questioned tonight because I honestly I've had like 3 hours sleep last night because I was staying up and editing the video for the Christmas show. So, I mean, it's going to be out on Tuesday officially. You can watch it on Radio Sega on the Monday, but if you come back on the Tuesday, I might even premiere it. I was considering for like 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. So if anyone's around next Tuesday night about 8 p.m.
in chat, in text chat, having talking about it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's premiere it. It's going to be a 2-hour show, like a bit of a Christmas chat. We're going to talk about Christmas and Shenmue. There might be some special guests there, Titch. So you can look forward to that, and we've got a big quiz that I'm looking forward to people taking part in.
Yeah,
kind of like question Matt on a whole heap of questions.
I thought I did all right.
So if you're into sort of quizzes and you want a bit of a Shenmue quiz, tune in for that. But yeah, like I say, I've had like 3 hours sleep, so I thought I would be pretty dead to be fair tonight. So yeah, I appreciate everyone tuning in tonight,
sticking with us,
listening to me like waddle on about bloody dinosaurs and stuff. That probably is like a 3-hour sleep conversation, but I do appreciate it, guys. So
appreciate every single one of you popping in. We've got a big year ahead of us with Shenmue. Anime, merchandise, documentary, and God knows what else in between. Hopefully Shenmue 4. Don't forget, 4th of every month, hashtag Let's Get Shenmue 4. Be aggressive with who we're tweeting. Let Epic, let PlayStation, Sony, Microsoft, everybody know that we want a 4th game. We will be back on the 4th of January for the special stream as we always do. But otherwise, I just want to say to everybody, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Stay safe, and we will see you again very soon. Get your saxophones out, stick around, because I'm going to raid somebody. Take care, everybody, and good night.
Take care, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Let's go.
Yeah, see you.
泣きたく